Well, hello everyone, good morning, and welcome to another lovely live stream. Hi everybody, who have we got? James Polk, lovely day to you. Mr. T-Bone's here, a witch hunt. Yes, it was. No spoilers about witches. Kevin Johnson says, thanks. Oh, well, thanks for being here. Look at all those rainbows. Videodrome is watching all the videos from May of last year that I missed by T Noir and For Harriet about Lana Del Rey's ignorant comments. I don't remember those incidents. Good gravy. Aaron Torres, who has coffee? James is making me coffee right this moment. Because he's good. SimSilica wants me to... Oh, says, wait. If only had the power to send liquids over the web. That power would be abused by people. Videodrome likes the hopping bunny. Isn't the bunny great? I just noticed that for some reason in the software, the bunny has... not the bunny, the snow. The snow that's falling has a volume control. I don't know what the volume would actually do. Let me bring this music down. Good gravy. That should be better, right? Right? I don't want the chorus is gonna get loud, is what I'm saying. Anyway, the snow that's falling on the bunnies has a volume control for some reason. Ghostlight is here, very excited. Oh, we might look for some ghosts as well as witches. Aaron wants a smite button. Yes, yes. Liquids and smiting. The two things we need to broadcast over the internet. James Polk wants to look for Margaret Hamilton. I think that is a great idea. I'm going to write that note down because let's go looking for some Margaret Hamilton stuff today. So as you may have heard, witches are in people's minds for reasons that will not be spoiled. And I thought we might do a little witch hunt of our own. Through the archives. I'm working on a video about Bewitched right this moment. Patrons, people who are members of the Patreon at $10 and up will get early ad-free access, hopefully later today. The video is almost ready to send out to patrons today, so if you want a more witching in your life, head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/MattBaum, and you'll get a little early ad-free glimpse at the video I'm working on right now that involves the show Bewitched. Hello to Ellie. Hello to Dave. We're getting a jump on Easter with the bunnies, this Videodrome. Yes, it's always Easter in this house. Hannah's here. Hello, Hannah. Lillian says, hey. Grey Hat Sarah, this on Twitter, invited some friends. Oh, good. Good. Get everybody together. Get gangs all here. Get them all on board. Videodrome says, hopping bunny with pumpkins keeps the pumpkins alive in our... Wait, Bloody Valentine's Month. What? Culture time space between St. Patrick's and Easter is a great time for witchery vibes. Why? You know what? Why not? Why not? Sim says, how was therapy? The appointment was canceled, so I didn't have it. Oh well, there'll always be another time. Not my choice, but oh well. Mr. Demon says, find Margaret's appearance on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Oh, I forgot about that. She was on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That is a good episode. Katie Waness is here. Hello. Joshua Clark says, your persona is a bunny. Well, no, I wouldn't say that my persona is a bunny, just that I like being drawn as though I am a bunny and I identify closely with anthropomorphic rabbits. But I don't know why that would make my persona a bunny. PG says, your videos actually help me come out. That's so great. How did they help you come out? Like, how are they helpful? Because I want to continue doing whatever is helpful. So tell me what has been good and what I should do more of, and how things help, because I'm so happy to hear that. Hello from Wales, says James Gent. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, and Katie Waness says the 21st of March is the first day of spring. We are so close. We're so close. So close. I'm going to have to get new... I'm going to have to replace the snow, I guess. I don't know. What should I get? What's something nice and animated? I guess I could have, like, falling petals or something? Like little falling flower petals? Or I guess falling leaves is fall. So, I don't know. Yeah, James says, sorry about therapy. Oh, well, these things... happen. Aaron says, yeah, springtime. I know. It feels like it's like... Here's the thing, is it's already pretty warm out here in Seattle. We have had just a run. We had a snowstorm, a big one, and then suddenly it was like, no, never mind. It's spring again. And it warmed up real fast. All the snow disappeared pretty much in just a few days. And now it's going to be up in the 50s this week. So, yeah, it is. I guess March makes sense. But like things started sprouting early, like January. Things were coming out of the ground. I have my garlic coming up. I know I talk about my garlic a lot. It's going to be like a feast day here. Because I've been talking about this garlic for months. It's going to be like a feast day when it's finally ready to eat. We're just going to tuck into that garlic and just eat raw garlic to celebrate. Katie Wyness used to identify as a bear, but then realized more wolf. Robert says, have you been enjoying the rest of WandaVision? I have. No spoilers here, but really enjoying it a lot. Really liking it a lot. The last episode, so good. No spoilers. So good. They're all so good. I don't know. Somebody pointed out on Twitter, they were like, what are we going to do when WandaVision's over? I don't know. What are we going to do? I know that there's going to be Winter Soldier and Birdman. Nope. Hawk. Hawk? Hawk. The Hawk? Is he just Hawk or the Hawk? Anyway. We've got that show coming up, but that one feels like it's just going to be two men glowering at each other, which, you know, I could see anywhere. I could just walk down the street and see two men glowering at each other. Probably, I assume. So I'm not so excited about that one. But then we've got a Loki show coming after that. And then If Then, which is sort of a speculative show. And I have high hopes for that one being super weird. I just want weird. I want more weird. Big Gloop is here. This is my first time on a live stream. He says, yay! Welcome. I'm so glad that you made it. Hooray. Hello. Well, we're going to be looking at some news archives. And let me just give you a little preview of what we've got in store today. Let me get the window capture going here. So here's what it's just a little bit of what I've pulled. And we always find more stuff as we're going. Oh my God, there goes the chorus. They're just shouting at me. Let me know if the volume needs adjustment. But that just, like, look at those tabs. That's only just a smattering of what we're going to be looking at today. Yeah, Sim says, not a furry, with lots of quotes. 61 here in Georgia. That sounds great. Falling cherry blossoms, says Steve. I lived in D.C. for a while. Spring was cherry blossom season. Forgot about that. Yeah, I guess we're coming up on that. Okay, I'll find some falling cherry blossoms and put them over my, You know what I just noticed? Do I have snow? I do. Hold on. Oh, pfft. Okay. I'll show you what it looks like. I have snow for my main camera, but here's what it looks like. Like this. It's not quite. The dimensions aren't quite right there, but you know what? Let's just say there's a little shelter that you can't see over on this side that's keeping me unsnowed upon. All right, that is not how I want that to look. Falcon. Oh, Falcon, not Hawk. Okay. I feel like I barely even know that character from the movies. Aaron says, Dallas had snow. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. It's been intense in Texas. 4-degree temperatures and 70s the next. My brain is so confused. I'm glad that it warmed up though. That's good. Cause yikes, it's terrible when it like lasts and lasts and lasts. Joshua Clark says, eat an onion like an apple with the side of garlic. There, you know, I've been harassed over on Twitch. By the way, come watch me over on Twitch as well during the week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can watch me over there. Twitch.tv/MattBaum. I've been harassed on Twitch about setting a stream reward of people can spend like, I can't remember what it was going to be. It was going to be something a lot. It was going to be like, I don't know, 100,000 channel points. And I'll have to eat an onion and a whole onion raw. I have my doubts that I'll ever do that. That seems like it's going to hurt me. Or at least, yeah, Katie Wyness, at least I'll keep the vampires away with the garlic. Vamp Bites recommends a book, but what book? Wait, what book are we talking about? I don't know what book you mean. It's Falcon, not Hawk. Falcon. Okay, well look, they're both birds of prey. Which, wait, isn't that also another villain? Or I mean, but not a villain, a hero? Isn't that a Marvel hero? Bird of prey? Maybe I'm making that one up. I might be wrong about that one. Anyway. Oh, Mr. T-Bone says, what if? Oh, the book What If is very good. Brad says, I live in South King County. I have daffodils and other things popping up. I know, it's crazy, right? Like, so I've got, my tulips are getting big. Like, they haven't flowered yet, but I've got tulips that are starting to, like, really get large. The, what else is getting big? My cardinal flowers are getting very big. My delphiniums are getting, like, bushy. Oh, there goes my tea. My tea is starting to scream at me. No, coffee. James was making me coffee. Video Dream says, I wish my computer could handle that many tabs being open in Chrome. My computer would crash. Oh my God. I mean, that's just one window. I probably have like easily 50 or so tabs open right now across all my browser windows. Oh God, James Polk said, was that one of the headlines? GOP chief hails president's talks. Really? Oh, there it is. Yep, that was 54. Who would that have been? Eisenhower? No, that would have been post Eisenhower. Who would that have been? Let's just take a little peek here. Let's see. Let's switch on over to that. GOP chief hails president's talks. It was Leonard Hall. It was Eisenhower. There you go. That's my power. Give me a year and I'll tell you who the president was. No, I will guess and I'll 9 times out of 10 get it wrong, but that was a lucky guess. Oh, Brad likes the cherry blossoms in Animal Crossing. Yes. Oh my God. I need to dive back into Animal Crossing. It's been far too long. My poor town. They'll be like missing flyers up with my face on it. Videodrome says, seems snow doesn't have a chance in hell much longer. It's just way, way too hot in New Hampshire. Oh, thank you very much. I have a spoon. James is giving me oatmeal. He's giving me coffee. It smells so good. Oh, I have a ramekin in front of me now. Oh my God. I took out this note so I could write myself a reminder to look at Margaret Hamilton, and I completely forgot. Margaret Hamilton. Thank you. Oh, Slideshow Ashley is here. Hello, I've made it, Jen. Yay. Oh, I'm glad the group's all getting together. Yay. Oh, and yes, Grey Hat Jen is also very excited for Animaniacs Season 3. I saw that. That is great. I'm happy about that. I mean, I don't have really intense feelings about Animaniacs. Just, it's nice to see something working that's making people happy. Aaron rented a bear costume one year for a Halloween party and fans. People love the teddy bear look. It was a bit strange, but so much fun. Okay. Great. Go with that. Was it like a gur bear or like an actual teddy bear? Were you just a giant walking teddy bear? Because that does seem very cute. Joshua says, I've been wanting to tell you directly, dig your work, finding your representation out there in the past. You have a wonderful personality. I'm very awesome. Thank you. Oh, that's really sweet. That makes me feel really good. Oh, gosh. Ashley says, eating an onion isn't that bad. Throw some mustard on it and salt. I don't know about that one. I don't know. Mustard and onion, huh? And then go to the makeout party. Suddenly Steve still has snow on the ground in upstate New York. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, that's going to be for a while still, right? It's going to be a while. I know there's parts of the country, like Katie1S, I'm sure you could go out and do summer stuff right now. I don't know what summer stuff. For some reason, I was like, what's something people do in the summer? And I was like, lawn, what is it called? Polo, the thing where you go like this, the thing where you go like this. No, it's the thing from Heathers where you've got the mallet, croquet. You could play croquet, but I imagine that is not the case in, I don't know, Utica. Speaking of Utica, isn't she just the best? Kevin says, I'm in Texas. Mother Earth is cleaning up. Oh boy. What year did the musical Grease take place? What year? 55? Oh, what year did it take place? I think it was 50. No, I was going to say 52, but I'm thinking of the wrong movie. I'm thinking of American Graffiti, which I believe was actually 62. I think the slogan was "Where were you in '62?" But that was for American Graffiti, which it takes place canonically in the Star Wars universe. Let's just say, Grease takes place in what year? 59. That's according to the Smithsonian. I don't know why they would know, but I don't think they're wrong. Vampites, why am I looking for that book? Dave says, a bit gloomy in Mass. So Strawberry Spring. Oh, Strawberry Spring sounds very pretty, though. I also have strawberries growing right now. My strawberries, they don't really even die back here because Seattle has such mild winters. So they haven't even died back, but I've got strawberry plants growing, setting up massive vines. Aaron says, oh, it's like a Yogi Bear costume. Okay. Was it still just fuzzy and furry and people just wanted to give it a hug? Because you know what? I'm all about a costume that people are like, oh, snuggle, snuggle. Videodrome, I think you're right. Mustard and onion might work together on chips. That actually could work. Sim says DC Blossom Festival scheduled for March 20th. Oh, okay. That's just after James's birthday. James, do you want to travel to Washington, D.C. to look at some trees for your birthday? He's not into it. Achilles says, we've seen the picture of Susan Sontag in a bear costume. What? Hold on. No, we gotta go looking. We gotta go look for that one. I'm not interested in the GOP chiefs hailing the president's talk. But, wait. Susan Sontag, bear costume? What? Okay, a couple things that I like going on here. There she is, but I'm also very interested in whatever this situation is. I like this. Oh, no. Wait, it's a basketball hoop over the dog's head? Or is it, I thought it was like an angelic dog, but I think it might be a basketball hoop over a dog's head. I don't know why you would do that. Susan Sontag in a teddy bear suit. She looks so serious about it. What a pleasure. Like, she's given a real serious... Oh, she's in a car or something. What were the circumstances that led up to this, Achilles? How did she find herself in this situation? And I love that this scene from The Shining also comes up. Dave says, I was the Easter Bunny every year at the function hall. It sucked. Not an easy gig. Oh, really? I would have thought that would have been fun, but I guess, I don't know. I just want to be a bunny. Big Loop says, in Social, it's just horrendously windy. Oh, SoCal. In Social. It's windy in Social, too. SoCal, it's horrendously windy. Is this the Santa Ana winds time? I always ask that. Every time someone's like, I'm in California, I'm like, is it time for the Santa Ana winds? Silly the nosebleeds from how dry it is. Oh, I got that, too. For me, it was actually the air pollution. It wasn't the dry air, because I've been in places with dry air, but the air is just so bad in Southern California. Yes, Benny says Greece is 59. Oh, they mentioned Vice President Nixon, says James. Oh. Yeah, Dave says American Graffiti was 62, and Grease the Musical was made in 78. So what would that be? Like, that was just, I guess, 20 years earlier. Oh, no. So that would be a movie about 2000 for if they made it now. Honestly, I can see that being a real hit. Like, it's all, like, nostalgia for, like... for Britney Spears and boy bands and stuff, and I don't. That was kind of my time. That was my time. Oh boy, driving around with no cell phones and going to Denny's. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I would be very interested in seeing a Grease reboot set in 2000.
Same story?
The same story.
Oh.
The same songs. No. No, but the songs are like rearranged for like 90s style. So it's like Spice Girls and and Bewitched. Do you remember the show Bewitched? Nope. The musical pop group Bewitched, Irish pop group, which is on theme for today because we're going to be looking at witches. Video Room says, I remember Dirty Dancing was meant to take place in 63. They listened to an Otis Redding song from 59. Yeah, suddenly Steve, where was Luke in 62? PG says, just wanted to thank you. Don't know if I could have come up with the courage without videos like yours. That's really, really, really sweet. I appreciate that so much, and I'm so glad that they've been helpful. Yay. That's all. Just a very soft yay. Dave says it's a false spring. I don't know. I think we're ready to go. I don't think there's going to be another snowstorm after this. Yeah, Kevin, look for Margaret Hamilton, Billy Burke, Witchy Poo, and Kiss on Halloween's Halloween special from 78. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're talking about Paul Lynde's Halloween special, and Margaret Hamilton, Witchy Poo, and who else is on? Betty White is on that. Pauline's Halloween special was meh for me overall, but the guests were fantastic, yes. Aaron says, we never see James. Do you make him run around the house naked, steal his clothes? What's up? I would love to do that. James, what if I stole all your clothes? What would you do?
You've seen what I do. I have to find a blanket and wrap myself in it.
It's true. It's true. He wrapped himself in a blanket. That's what happened when I did the laundry and he didn't have any clothes. I'd have to like scheme to like, all right, so I put all the clothes in the laundry. The blankets are all hung up from the chimney. And then what? What do you do then? Do you get a barrel and suspenders?
We have
Oh, he would hide under the futon. He would fold the futon down over himself and just stay there until clothes became available. Or would you try to walk around with the futon cushion?
Oh, that works. Yes, I would fold it over myself and tie it with a bungee.
Yes, he would fold the futon cushion over himself and tie it with a bungee. MK says, I'm not sure about eating it directly, but I do know that thick or not so thick sliced onion on bread with mustard does work as a sandwich. I guess I could see that. I don't think I'd enjoy it. But I can... Maybe that's... If I did have to eventually eat... Like, if I set, like, for 1 million channel points, I'll eat a raw onion. I guess I could do it on a sandwich. Oh, Big Loop says, it's the winds, it's the worst. Yeah, I remember that. It does clear the air a little bit, but... Yeah, I remember that windy time of year. Somebody I knew had a tree fall on their house. They were fine. But a tree fell on their house during this, like, one very windy time of year in Southern California. Big Loop says, wait, everyone wears the juicy tracksuits in that musical. Oh, my God. What would 90s, like, late 90s, early 2000s Grease be? It would be, like, Britney Spears in Sync and 98 Degrees. It would be Bewitched to a lesser extent and Spice Girls. It would be people driving around in, I don't know, minivans? I'm not sure. Like, what was the teen vehicle? But I feel like the story could very easily be transposed. This thing, I guess that's just High School Musical, which they did reboot. Yeah, Corker says 2000 style Grease, that's just like High School Musical. Exactly. Which they made a new one of, so I guess my idea was vindicated. Oh, yeah, Sim, they've all got MP3 players? Yes. I was 5 to 6 in 2000, says James Polk. I remember when SpongeBob premiered a year earlier. Video Dream says, okay, that last reply made a huge mistake. Dirty Dancing in 63. I meant to say they made a huge technical error. Oh, Love Man came out in 69, so they played the wrong song in the movie. Okay, you know what? Let's give them a pass, because it's a good song. Katie Winos was 35 in 2000. I was 33 old, says Dave Rendon. Oh, wait, Sim says he looks like the Oracle from Fraggle Rock. Wait, who does? Wait, who looks like the Oracle from Fraggle Rock? Yeah, Grey Hat Jen says it's Depression era sandwich, the onion and mustard on bread. It does look... Oh, Sim says, wait, James wrapped in things looks like the Oracle? Okay, I like that. He usually looks like the trash heap. Bitter Queen says, if he took the clothes, I think James would cover his nakedness with his beard, Lady Godiva style. Is that your plan?
I will continue to grow until I have a complete coverage.
Just like Lady Godiva?
Just like Lady Godiva.
Famously bearded Lady Godiva.
Maybe that'll be my character, bearded Lady Godiva.
That's not bad, James says. Maybe that'll be his character. Your character for what exactly? Just life, he says. Nostalgic value of 99 to 2001 means having to relive that, ridiculous Clinton trial. That's true. There's some things, look, not everything, Grease didn't involve everything from the late 50s. So, boy, oh boy, did they not. So, we don't have to have all the bads of the late 2000s. Oh my God, Big Loop says, Sandy shows up at the end with low-rise jeans and a whale tail. Ugh. Actually, Norman, I think that's brilliant. Flip phones, denim, and people mocking Sandra Dee's lame website. Video says Sandra Dee had a website, did she? Anyway, I'm just picturing that. I'm having trouble adjusting my mind off of it. We've just been staring at pictures of Susan Sontag this whole time. But what we're going to stare at is these cute dogs instead. So I've been looking for, as I said, I'm working on a video about Bewitched. So witches have been in the, the zeitgeist lately. So I thought I'd do some little hunting around for witch-related stuff in the newspapers. Some of it Bewitched, some of it not. So obviously, I found some let's see, here we go. Some Liz Men's Magic to Witchery stuff over there. We've got Liz's TV show is not Bewitched. Her baby bewitches Elizabeth. So we've got some Elizabeth Montgomery Bewitched stuff there. There's another nice little drawing of her. A magical witch Bewitched is something something with area somethings. But then we've got other stuff that is not Bewitched related at all, such as The Witchcraft of Chuma by Una Imsilbarad. And this old newspaper from 1857. There's a twink of the nose. We've got, let's see, Salem is Bewitching. Oh, here we go. Here's an article from 1900, another one from 1881. I just really love this headline, The Cake Bewitched Him. So we're going to read about that. So we got a lot of like old vintage witchy stuff in these old newspapers to look at. And of course, we're going to find some Margaret Hamilton. Videodrome says, I was 20 in 2003 when I came out that big Disney Holes movie. Oh, yeah. I have no idea what the big deal is with that. This whole Supernatural. No, that was based on a great book. I mean, I haven't read it since it came out, but it was based on a really good book. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like there's a lot of nostalgia for that one in particular. I've never seen the movie is the thing. Wait, what? Erin says, I dated a supernatural hoe. Does that count? Tell me more about that. I need more information about you did what? Yeah, and Videodrome says, cakes are very bewitching. 2000s Frenchie has, I love that we're still designing 2000s Greece, has mid-length skirt with bell-bottom jeans under the skirt for some reason. Mid-length skirt with bell-bottom jeans under the skirt. I do remember that. Yeah. Yeah, that thing of like, kind of like a little dress, but you'd also wear jeans under the dress. I remember those. I wouldn't do that personally. I didn't wear the dress. There and those little glasses, the really small little circle glasses. There's some bad fashion. There was some bad fashion, we'll say. Okay, I'm going to eat some of this oatmeal that James has given me, and then we're going to like dive into this witch stuff. Oh, are you meowing at me or are you making witch cackles? Oh, James is meowing for me. It's very nice. He's my familiar. James, which one of these dogs are you? Well, you'll see. It'll pop up on the stream in just a moment for you. Oh, he says he's a rat. Yeah, Sarah says, you've never seen the movie. Holes is great, but I was the prime age for the book and the movie, so I definitely feel the nostalgia. I think I was the right age for the book, but then I was a little old for the movie. And just, that one, it would just pass me by. Oh, Tina says, I can't not picture this reboot as an episode of Daria. Actually, that sounds great. It's all the Daria characters doing Grease. Actually, I kind of like that gender flipped with Daria as the... This doesn't exactly work, but Daria is like... She had a summer fling. Then she goes back to high school. And how do I do this? Daria's, because she's not the cool one at the school, so she can't be the Danny Zuko exactly, but Dario takes the Danny Zuko role, where she has a summer fling, and then she goes back to the high school, and everything seems fine. She's hanging out with Jane, and then it turns out that the boy, the kind of nerdy boy that she had the summer thing with, has transferred to her school, and there's this like drama about the nerdy boy who has a crush on Daria, and Daria has a crush on him, but she's too cool to admit it. Aaron says, I miss men in short shorts. Miss those days. Yes. I don't know. Should we look for news about that as well? I don't know that there would be a lot of coverage of short shorts. Just curious. Has the New York Times ever written about short shorts? Oh, yes, but for women. Of course. And also about short films, apparently. Oh, Rome police ban short shorts as succinct and inviting jail. Shorts, one called hot pants, survive because they're cool. Okay. We are going to look at that for a moment. Also, this headline is very good. Pantsmaker takes a long look at shorts, votes yes. And then the body of the article is pants, pants, pants. Okay, yeah, that's how the article starts. Pants Maker takes long look at shorts, votes yes. Pants, pants, pants. George Stewart lives surrounded by pants. His mother wears them. His 3 daughters, aged 11 and 13, wear them. His wife, Lynn, wears them almost all the time. Fortunately, Mr. Stewart approves of women in pants. It makes them comfortable. It makes them feminine. It makes them happy. He said with zeal. Who the hell cares if this man approves of women wearing pants? Oh, my lord. Oh, he happens to make pants. Okay, well, all right. That's when his company, Mr. Pants, was born. I feel like this opening here, pants, 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 was somebody like, I'm so close to my word count. I'm so close to having enough words in this article. Let me just say pants, pants, pants. There we go. We hit it. Anyway, that's all. Pants, pants, pants. Hello from India says, oh, I'm going to mispronounce your name. Utkarsh? Tell me if that's right. Yes, suddenly see the live stream of bewitching cakes and Eisenhower speeches. You get it all here. T-Bone, which of these dogs is actually a transfigured DA? Which one looks shaggy enough? They're all pretty shaggy. Hello, Grady. Meow. Sexy cat gesture. Oh, hello. The women nominated that evening had some questionable cloaks on, says James. Wait, not great fashion. Wait, which women nominated? Oh, the telecast of the 1984 Tony Awards. Very gay. La Cage aux Folles was a big winner. Oh, it featured a lot of Hirschfeld drawings and the music numbers. Oh, that sounds great. That was the 84 Tony Awards. Better than the 84 Oscars, I'm going to guess. Notorious disaster that year. Wait, what? Grady, there's a fan-made live-action Daria movie trailer starring Aubrey Plaza? Was that before she was as famous as she is now? Or, like, when is that from? Yeah, Video Room, I remember the Halloween episode. Bitterroll Queen says, James, as a rat familiar, would be a younger version of Nicodemus from Secret of Nim. James, are you into that?
Oh, that I'm quite into.
He says he's quite into that. Mr. Bitterroll Queen, we've been searching for James's persona for years. You may have just found it. A rat wizard? That's great. Utkarsh says, love Matt's work. Oh, thank you very much. I'm so glad to hear that. Jen says, Pride in 2000 was banging. We were full-blown party mode. The protests were nearly non-existent. I'm trying to remember Pride's in 2000. Yeah. Oh, I do remember. I have a fond memory of, I was in Boston then, and going to Pride and taking lots of pictures, and there was this boy who had climbed a tree. He's like a college boy. He'd climbed a tree, and he was just like in the tree, and then like hooked his legs around and then swung down upside down. And his shirt like fell down over his face, and he had like a little hairy chest thing going on. And I took a picture of him, and I don't know where that picture wound up, but it was a very cute picture. Oh, Dominic just finished watching Edith's Crisis of Face, now I'm crying. That is, whoof. Let us comfort you, Dominic. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. It's got a nice, lovely, warm ending. But yeah, that puts you through the ringer. Oh, James says pants used to be a bad word in English-speaking cultures. Oh, scandalous. Thomas recommends peanut butter with onions. Oh, no. No. I'm sorry. I'm sure it tastes good for people who like that. But no. Thank you for me. Kiflam says, feels like an Onion article. Local man doesn't care if women in his life wear pants. I know. It does. Local man. Video Room says, I'm sure 84 award show were all shown up by MTV's video music from the year. Oh, what was in the... 84 was probably a good year, right? There's probably a lot of good stuff going on. So I don't know music that well, so it's hard for me to place it, like what year stuff came out. But I'm sure there were a lot of like between Prince and Madonna and Cyndi Lauper and a lot of other people. I'm sure a lot of people are doing great stuff. 84 Tonys includes Candor and Ebb medley featuring Liza Cheetah Rivera and Raquel Welch and Roller Skating Boys. Oh boy, that's good. Oh, Mr. G-Bone says there's a great doc on Amazon Prime that covers the 84 Oscars called The Fabulous Alan Carr. Yes, there is. made by the wonderful Jeffrey Schwartz, director of that documentary, a guest on the Sewers of Paris. I interviewed him about that. He gave me, actually, I have in the other room. James, if you have a moment, would you mind grabbing the giant grease puddle? No, the giant grease booklet that's on my bookshelf. It should be on the left-hand side. It's the left-hand shelf, probably second shelf from the bottom. It's quite large and oversized. It's white. Videodrum says the whole Aubrey Diary vid was probably 2014, 15. Okay, so pretty recent. Alan Carr is also responsible for Grease and the equally disastrous Can't Stop the Music. Did he do both Grease and Can't Stop the Music? I feel like he was involved in one but not the other, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Big Loop says, I'm not one for crowds. I've still never been to Pride. I really want to go. You should experience a Pride. It is a good experience. Oh, thank you very much. A good experience to have. So yes, so Jeffrey Schwartz, who was the director of Can't Stop the Music, of Can't Stop the Music, no, of the fabulous Alan Carr, gave me this, when I interviewed him, this huge promo book for Grease. Let me check my camera to make sure this is all on screen here. So this is the Paramount Press book, the advertising section, and it's all just like different ads that newspapers or movie theaters might want to run to advertise Grease. I mean, there's nothing too like revelatory or exciting in here. It's just like, here are your choices for all the different ads you can run in your circulars. This giant, I mean, tell me this wouldn't make an amazing poster or something though, right? Grease, 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 grease. There it is. So, and they're all labeled like ads to be used in 6-column width papers and ads to be used in 4-column width papers. $133 lines, or 9.5 inches. Oh, no, 9.5 inches. Ooh. Yeah, and they got the little ones, the really little ones over there. Anyway, it's just a fascinating little artifact of the time. A Paramount Press Book advertising section for Grease. It's the word. Ugh. Anyway, Big Loop, you should go to Pride. I've had so many good experiences, and I'm curious to hear other people's experiences going to Pride. What have your Prides been like? That was like my first Pride, I think. The one where I took a picture of the college boy hanging upside down from a tree. I just remember it very vividly because I've been hearing about Prides and seeing them mentioned in things and, you know, in movies and whatever. And it was the first one that I actually got to go to in Boston. And then, gosh, I got to march in the San Francisco one year, weirdly for Comcast. Like one of my friends worked for Comcast and they needed volunteers to just like walk alongside the car for like as safety monitors. So I got to walk in the parade as a safety monitor for Comcast's float. Not like I'm a big Comcast supporter, just, you know, it was a nice experience. I've photographed Prides at this point. I'm kind of prided out, frankly. But the best experience I had was going to Europe. I got to travel around and cover different Prides in Europe for World Pride in 2017. And I liked, Paris has an amazing Pride because nothing's like gated, nothing's barricaded. You could just like walk in the parade, just walk along with it. It's just big mass of people, very disorderly, but, you know, not like violent or, you know, like you never feel like you're in danger or anything like that. It's just this huge, disorganized group of people just all marching and feeling great. It was so much fun. Madrid is very fun. That was where like the big World Pride. So it was something like 1.3 million people for that one. Just an incredible crush of people. More unruly than Paris, I would say. A lot more like drunk in partying, spilling into the, like people were like barricaded off from the parade route, but they would just like keep pushing. And so they were people whose job was like push back on the crowd. It's a mess. And Reykjavik has a lovely Pride. It's smallish. Something like a full 2/3 of the country of Iceland comes to Reykjavik Pride. But it's still quite small, very friendly, neighborly, and quick. There's a little parade and people go and there's a concert and then everybody goes home. It's like a brief Pride. Gosh, what are other good Prides that I've been to? LA's is, you know, it's always very hot, so people are scantily clad. So that's nice. I think Seattle's is my favorite in the US that I've been to. Seattle's Pride does a really nice thing where everybody like marches to Seattle Center, and then there's a huge festival fair that's just like massive. There's stages and food, and it's hard to find people, but and the giant fountain. There's the huge international fountain that's just like spraying water so people can like strip down to their underwear and splash in the water, and it's very fun. It's great. It's like Seattle Pride is just such a fun time. Oh, Grady says, Pride is fun. Pace yourself. Yeah, best advice ever. It is, yeah, don't try to do too much at a Pride, I think would be my advice. Oh, Brady says, oh, wow, that was amazing. Wham, the Go-Go's. Girls just want to have fun. Thriller, Sweet Dreams are made of these. All right. Yep, that's pretty good. That's a good VMA. Oh, no, Petropedia says, I resolved to go to my first Pride in early 2020. Well, it's worth waiting for. You're going to have an amazing Pride, whether it happens this year or next year. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot to swap the screens. Look, okay, so I'm going to swap it back real quick to show you, because I know it was very small, but I mean, here it is a little bit bigger. Yeah, so there it is. It's just like lots and lots and lots of different sized ads, slightly different wording. Different pictures, some really simple images. There you go. It's a big book though. Grady says, yeah, in San Francisco, the Pink Saturday is the real party. Don't let the outsiders know. James likes to press books. Very familiar with that style of promotion. Hirschfeld's and other art can be included. Oh, there you go. Grant Jen says the short shorts is what made me think about Pride. Yes. Yeah, of course. Wear your short shorts to Pride. Bill hates Pride. It's not for me staying in the sun all day. Well, you just need an umbrella. Joe Hayes says, was you at the Dublin one? No, I did not go to Dublin, unfortunately. That one was, I can't remember. I think it didn't work for my schedule for some reason. Also, it was a little out of the way because I was mostly taking the trains around Europe to go to the different Prides. Utkarsh says, I've been unlucky with Pride. I leave Seattle usually for summer, and I'm in Seattle when it happens anywhere in India. Oh, so you're always missing it. It'll happen. You'll line up one of these days. When does India usually do? I'm in Seattle when it happens anywhere in India, summer. So, okay. So when does I leave Seattle for summer? I'm in Seattle when it happens in India. So when does India's usually happen? Aaron says, I heard several gay photographers doing a Me Too thing with the models. I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard about that. Tell me more. I live in a small town. There's university, so we have a small Pride. Small town Pride, weirdly unique experience at Sarah B. I want to hear all about it. I love small town Prides. I love small town gay stuff so much. I went to an amazing drag show once in Tacoma. Not like Tacoma's tiny, but it's not a major city. So I went to, it was Tacoma Community College, I think. Did a drag show. Turned out when I got there, none of the people involved had ever actually been to a drag show or had seen one. So it was just what they thought a drag show would be like. And it was one of the best drag shows I've ever been to. It was all drag kings, and they were mostly like engineering students. So all of their drag king concepts were based on famous scientists. And so they did these like real like swaggering tough guy lip syncs. Also, they just put the music video for all the songs, all the lip syncs up on the screen behind them. And so everyone in the audience sang along. Everyone like sang along to the lip sync that the drag king was doing. There were also, for some reason, carnival games. So they had like a station where you could like weave your own like little plastic bracelet things. And they had like throw the beanbag through the hole in the board games. And I forget what else they had. They had like a ring toss. And I'm like, I've never been to a drag show with a ring toss, and they all should have this. This is amazing. Oh, Grey Hat says Toronto always did a great Pride. Yes, I've heard good things about Toronto's. Dave says, I remember a guest of Matt's that walked out of his office and joined a Pride. Oh, who was that? I remember that too. Who was that? That was just like, I'm leaving to go to Pride. Grady says, LA's okay. Seattle's is nice. The Bushes Volunteer Park are busy until midnight. Oh, well, right. Is that still the case though? Because Volunteer Park's now like way out of the parade route. But yeah, Bill says, I'll be the one under the umbrella at Pride. There you go. Perfect. Video Jump said they need a more gay kind of Grease. Should it ever reboot? 78 has amazing music, but even Grease Lightning is just an ode to cishet men's needs and wants, very derogatory to women. That's true. I would like to see a gay Grease. I guess that's just lubricant. It would be called lube. The gay Grease is just called lube. So T-Bone says, I call Richard Feynman. I think there was like, I can't remember. I think it was something like, please welcome to the stage, Richard Feynman. Like, it was like that. It was like that kind of a drag show. It was amazing. Anyway, oh my goodness. Let's look at these. We've been waiting literally an hour now just to start looking at some of these articles I pulled. Let's look at these bewitching dogs. So this has nothing to do with witches, obviously. It's just dogs have their say something, blah, 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 blah. Blanard Bewitching judged. Oh, Blanard Bewitching, I guess is the dog's name. 54th Ladies Kennel Association show. I just wanted an excuse to look at these dogs. So, Zelda's Summer Stock is the name of this dog. Fezziwig Ceiling Zero. Makoko. Flomane's Two-Step. Pride's Blue Boy. And CH. What is CH? CH something. Tudor Maid of Homehurst. What do you call a dog for short that has a name like that? Anyway, so there's Tudor Maid of Homehurst, the English toy spaniel. But I guess the winner was Blanard. Oh, wait. CH. There it is again. CH. That must mean something when in dog breeding, I guess. Blanard Bewitching. Anyway, that's all. That's all about witches. That's all about witches. There's another one has bewitching in the title, but not actually about witches. Stargazing bewitches Queen's Boy 12. Good for him. A spare, bespectacled Queen's Boy who was absent-minded about nearly everything but astronomy served as assistant lecturer at a stargazing session at Jones Beach last night. I just think that's really cute. Oh, CH means champion. Oh. Oh my God. All right. So do you call the dog champion? All the cool kids, says Grady, came out at night during Pride Week. By the parade on Sunday, sleeping off Saturday night and getting ready for the after parties. That's quite a sleep schedule. TBT says, I ended up in Columbus, Ohio during Pride, but could never go because I had to work. Oh, that's frustrating. There should be two. There should be two for like the people who had to work that day. Big Loops. Grey Hat Jen says, too big gloop. If it's a bigger Pride, more than likely they'll have a reduced sensory area. Oh, for autism spectrum peeps. You could peace out and hang out there. Yeah, so that's something nice that I've seen more and more conventions is the either like it's an AFK room or just a chill out room where it's just like, oh my God, less stuff, less stimulation. Oh, what a relief. Okay, so Petra says it means the dog has won major kennel show before, good for future breeding. Okay, and so this one also not going to be about witches. It's from 1892. The headline just like really caught my eye. Bewitching summer toilets. Garden hats are not necessarily garden party hats, although some of the more elaborate may be worn as such. The garden hats for which there's quite a range of summer are shade hats intended to wear with informal toilets. Or I guess toilettes, but I don't know what that means in this context. It is the woman who lives outdoors, whose nerves are quiet and brows serene. She is the woman who, when she reaches the allotted 70, will be 70 years young. These hats are demanded by women of all ages and conditions. Variety offered is unlimited. New shape or an old shape fashion, new material to be expected. Boy, you know what would help here? New York Times is a picture. But to return to the dainty girl's dainty hat, it is a big affair. The brim of lace-like straw is very broad and drooping curves. Really no explanation here for what the headline could possibly. It's really hard to pick up from the context what could be meant by that. Petra says, for kennel registration, dogs have to have a unique name. Show dogs usually have their government name and their actual name. Like a SAG won't register people of the same name. Oh, is that why? I was just hearing something about how there's a whole process if you want to rename a dog that's recognized by the Kennel Association. I guess that's why, so you can tell them apart. Joshua says the Columbus Pride Parade is disappointingly corporate. Oh, okay, well, that's a pain. Company behind it tends to only pay attention to affluent white gays. We enjoy the festival afterwards. Yep. Great Jen says, what year is that from? 1890s? That is from 1892. July 24th, 1892. Also, you may be interested to learn the U.S. government officially reports royal baking powder superior to all others in leavening strength. It is the best and most economical. Just FYI, for anybody looking for baking powder. 130 years ago. SF Pride goes through phases where it gets really corporate and then there's backlash, where backlash phase now is great. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I remember there was a big thing, I think it was in Pennsylvania, where the Pride Parade got renamed for like a fracking company, which was like, that's, all right, this is going too far. Not only that, but the company that it was named for donates money to like conservative anti-gay politicians. And it's like, what are y'all doing? Please just stop. So I'm all for the unofficial Pride parades. Suddenly Steve says, toilette originally meant like dressing and grooming yourself. Okay, so just like any sort of like what we'd probably call like fashion or style, bewitching summer style now. Elaborate garden party hats. That's the summer style in 1892. Incantations fail. Sells bewitched barn. German farmer lets it go for a song to tailor who scares him. Now this is the kind of witchcraft I'm looking for. Berlin, March 6, 1924. There's no need to go back to 17th century Salem, Mass. For witchcraft yarns. All you need to do is turn to the present-day Alkelsbüren in southern Germany. There's a peasant having noticed that his cows, calves, and pigs suffered constantly from sickness and lay down and died with alarming frequency, decided that the barn where he kept his livestock had been bewitched. Da-da, da-da. Videodrome says what they're doing is diving into Pride to steal gay consumer money and then later pay money to groups to take the rights away. That's exactly it. That can never be allowed. That has to be those. Not only do those companies need to be shunned, but the prides that allow themselves to be co-opted in that way need to be shunned. Like, I really do think it's objectionable. Like, it's one thing to like sell sponsorship and okay, let the, AT&T pay for, I don't know, the condom pavilion or something at the Pride Parade. The AT&T Dental Dam Plaza. Sure. Cool. Great. Awesome. But when it's something like, I don't know, some company like Chick-fil-A or something like that, I don't know, some bad company that's like actually giving money to bad people, and they all do that. Now that I say that, obviously AT&T gives money to Republicans as well. So they're all bad, is what I'm saying. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. But I think take their money, but also call them out is what has to happen. When I go to a Pride, if I'm hired to photograph a Pride parade, I like very deliberately avoid photographing anything but like locally owned businesses. So like if, like the local gym or I don't know, the local hat maker, I don't know if we have any local hat makers, is in the Pride parade, for sure I'll photograph them, but not T-Mobile. Yeah, Big Gloop says rainbow capitalism is one of my least favorite things of modern times. I agree with that. I mean, I don't totally object as long as it's not hypocritical. So, like, I don't mind seeing, for example, like, I don't know, what would be an example here? Like, BioWare. Like, if BioWare marched in Edmonton Pride, cool. I happen to know some of the people who work for that company, and they're lovely folks, and they're super queer friendly. Or queer themselves. That's wonderful, lovely. I'm happy to see them. But I don't like the pink washing and like, oh, we're good now, actually, when it's like, but you're not. But you're not. Yeah, Norman says Endora may have been responsible for this, for the German farmer. Yeah, Greyhead Jen says, Endora, such an awesome character. She is great. She is just absolutely, oh my God, she's such a good character. And Agnes Moorehead, which just BT dubs, a fantastic name for a drag queen, but Agnes Moorehead, who played Endora on Bewitched, rumors about her being queer in real life, unconfirmed. She never spoke about it. She was also extremely religious, so hard to know. Paul Lynde said that she was, he used some derogatory terms in describing her at one point. But that just may have been because they didn't get along and he wanted to say something, that would upset her. Who knows? Hard to say. But yeah, Agnes Moorehead, obviously fantastic actress. She was in Citizen Kane. She plays Orson Welles' mother. When his character is younger. She doesn't play Orson Welles' mother. She plays Charles Foster Kane's mother. Mr. T-Bone says, many of those big companies pause their GOP donations. We'll see how long it lasts after the whole insurrection thing. Yeah, we'll see. So what I want to see is if a corporation marches in a pride parade, they have to have a plaque on the front of their vehicle that says how much money they've given to Democrats and how much money they've given to Republicans. And I know that's not a perfect indicator of how good or bad they are, but I just think that transparency would be good. Or I don't know, like, what's their human rights, their corporate equality index score? Call them out if they have problems, if they, have, like, give them an actual letter grade. Like, I want to see, like, for example, Sony. I think Sony has an A. I think Sony is has a score like an A+, like 100. Oreo, you might have seen Oreo is just the news for saying some extremely mildly transpositive things on Twitter. Like they say, I think Oreo tweeted trans people exist. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks for doing the bare minimum there. But yeah, so the company that owns Oreo, which there's several layers of ownership there, but I don't even know how to pronounce it. Mondelez? I don't know. But that company has 100% from Human Rights Campaign. So that's good. Thanks, Oreo. Suddenly, Steve likes rainbow capitalism in that sense, like the fact that gay people are finally considered important enough for companies to pander to. I mean, that's been going on for a while, but I think what is needed next is for us not just to be pandered to, but to actually make some demands and be like, cool, thanks for the ads, thanks for like trying to get us to buy your stuff. Now stop giving money to the bad guys. Joshua says Amazon marched in Columbus says, so, I mean, it's tough to like make value judgments about these companies too, because Amazon does a lot of good things for the gays, but obviously they also like are union busting, and the struggles of labor and the struggles of queer people are certainly closely matched and intersecting. So ultimately that sucks. Kiflum says, pink washing aside, fracking could make some nice puns if they sponsor names of things. That's true. Make it real dirty. Mr. T-Bone says, when I saw Oreo, I thought it was a typo and they meant to tweet, it's a tweet about trans fat. Jesus. Grady says, Oreo read the statistic that the number of people identifying as trans has tripled in 10 years. I mean, that's it. Like, these things feel so cynical sometimes. Anyway, incantations fail, sells bewitched barn. There's no need to go back to 17th century Salem, Mass for witchcraft yarns, blah, 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 blah. Bewitched barn murmuring incantations, sprinkling the interior with water over which he had muttered a highly impressive rigmarole. No use. A cow which had been sick before the anti-witchcraft festivities began was much worse when they ended. A tale of the nearby village, hearing of this, declared himself possessed of occult knowledge. After looking over the bewitched building, shook his head so ominously that the scared owner promptly sold the property to him for a ridiculously low price. Shortly afterward, the tailor sold it off with great profit to himself. He and those concerned in the purchase and sale were arrested and tried, but were acquitted. Wow, this is some scheme. Yes, Alex B., the Oreo company does have layers. How could you? The Oreo company has thick, creamy layers. Let's see. What else? Anything else good in the when is this? 1924. Time counts when you need a psychic. Pluto Water. America's psychic. Pluto Water. What a name for a psychic. Jeez. Suits and top coats from the House of Kuppenheimer. 35 to 85. Anything else we want to be interested in here? Dollar down against the franc. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it for... Okay. Oh boy. Richard Walton Tully presents his spectacular production of Rex Beach's Flowing Gold. Not about golden showers. An exciting love story laid in the hectic oil well region of Texas. All right. Oh, Galli Curci criticizes modern woman. As much as ever, says the famous singer, women's place is in the home. There she can exert the greatest influence for good. Take femininity out of the world, she declares, and you lose a great power that is irreplaceable. Okay. Galli Curci, thanks for weighing in there. Real helpful. All right, I think that's it for this particular... Oh, Kraft in loaves in tins. Oh, it's an ad for Kraft cheese. Pie and cheese. Delicious. A nice cheese pie. Goodbye, 1920s. That's gross. Let me see, actually. I'm curious now if I can find that. What was that fracking pride? Was it in Pennsylvania Vanguard? No. Let's see if I can spell it right. Fracking pride. Here it is. Yes. Here's what happened when a city sold its pride march to a fracking company. This was a couple years ago. Pittsburgh. Yeah. Corporate. Pittsburgh Pride Parade was renamed the EQT Equality March in honor of EQT Corporation, a petroleum and natural gas company. Besides its fracking, EQT has a history of giving campaign contributions to anti-LGBTQ politicians. Boo earns. So I don't know, like, what is Pittsburgh Pride called now? Because that was a couple years ago. It looks like it's just called Pittsburgh Gay Pride. Where's the official site, though? Still scheduled for June. Does it? Yeah, it looks like... Okay, so it looks like it's named back to just, like, Pittsburgh Pride. Fracking Pride sounds like a Battlestar Galactica convention. Gen Z was similarly untrusting of brands and branding as Gen X was. That's encouraging. I want to see the brands and branding, like, just completely ignored or made fun of. Non-animal tested said, I've been lurking, but now you're talking about EQT, something I know about. Still sponsored by EQT. Oh. Oh, here's the official. Oh, okay. Here's the official site. Looking good. Looking good, Pittsburgh Pride. You nailed it. Flowing Gold Stars, Marion Davies, immortalized by... Oh, wait, Marion Davies was... How did I miss that? Yes, she was Rosebud, or part of her was. Timothy. It's a very tasteful way of putting it. Yep. Oh, Kiflom, that's perfect. Fracking Pride, a week of drilling and pumping. Now, Tessa said, support People's Pride in Pittsburgh. I like that. I like when there's a People's Pride. Run by the sisters. Okay. They do good work. Yeah, and there's no co-opting. There's no, like, corporate takeover of the sisters that's going to happen. I don't know. I guess anything's possible, but it seems unlikely. So this is a nice... Yeah, it looks like this is actually something that's still going on. A relatively recent movement. I've seen this in New York. I've seen it in San Francisco. Now it looks like it's happening in Pittsburgh. Some other place... D.C. People's prides that are just purely organized by locals rather than some national centralized thing. The informal stuff is what I like best. So this, I guess, happened last year in October. Hopefully it happened. I'm not sure. Might have been difficult to coordinate in 2020. Hopefully something better in 2021. Oh, and we're back to the shorts. Oh dear. Mr. Stewart doesn't think shorts will go away after their season in the sun next summer, nor does his mother, who just received her first pair and is planning to wear them soon. She's a great-looking girl, Mr. Stewart said. She's a size 10 and she has good legs. What a way to talk about your mother. Yikes. So if you're just joining us, we found this weird article about like how women wearing pants, yes, it's more likely than you think. Anything else fun going on in this? When is this? 1971. Let's see here. Oh, well, we got some fun theater ads here. Grady says the sisters are the literal, actual 100% fresh squeezed best. Yeah, Big Loop says I wish there was a default. Me too. I mean, that's what it was for a long time, but things will always, move towards someone trying to take them over and exploit them, right? Like if we look at, we've done this before, but we look at like, let's go to newspapers for this one. Pride. Actually, you know what? Let's say gay. Whoops. Oh boy. Go away. Gay Liberation March. And let's confine this to... Oh, interesting. Huh. That time frame is not what I would have expected there. Strangely, a spike on Gay Liberation March in 1945? That's unexpected. Now this is a strange mystery here. So here's mostly what I would have expected. 70s, 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 mostly early 70s. What's going on with this 40s spike? Hello, fellow historians. Is that so, Derek? Hello, Derek. Welcome. Okay. Oh. I know what's going on with that. World War II. It's finding liberation. So these three words separately spiked in the 40s. Gay, meaning just something else. Liberation, of course. And march, of course. That's what's going on there. All right. Let's... Yes. Yeah, Big Gloop says Captain America First Avenger was missing a crucial detail. Yes, it was. Yeah, suddenly Steve says Liberation of Europe. Of course. Jillian says Liberation is World War II. Yeah. Oh, Not Ellen says it said Delta's disbanding in Pittsburgh. Okay, wait, does that mean... like, what does that mean? Like the airline is disbanding in Pittsburgh, or like they're just not going to sponsor the parade anymore? Grady says, I doubt we'll have SF Pride in 2021, though. Celebration's just no festival. I think it's okay to have like a little break. I think it's okay to have a rest from the gay pride extravagance. Make it like, if that's something that makes it feel more local, cool. All right, we're going to bring this back to 1785 to 1980. Yeah, this is fighting more what I would have expected. Gay Liberation March, Slade and City Saturday. But if you look at what these things are like, you'll probably see some real informal events. I like that this was just headline homosexuals. Like this is the kind of like People's Pride March that we want to see today. So let's look at some of these. Oh my God. Will you remember your summer after you've lost your tan? Okay, there's a lot on this page that I want to look at. We're going to just start with this one. Gay Liberation March, Slade and City Saturday. Gay Liberation March for Freedom planned downtown Saturday. Stops the Federal Building, Catholic Diocese, and other institutions. More militant in tone than last year's Gay Pride Week parade. Interesting. They had a Pride Week last year, but now they're going to Liberation. Usually it tended to go the other way. It started with Liberation, then shifted over time to Pride. Women musicians will perform tomorrow night at Sean's. I know exactly what this night was. Women musicians will perform tomorrow night at Sean's, where there will be poetry reading. Thursday night is part of lesbian feminist night. 1976, 100% know exactly what that night was, and I am 100% on board for it. That's what Derek says. What are we hunting tonight? Well, we were looking for some witch stuff. We were doing a little witch hunt, but the conversation has turned to pride, so we're looking at some pride stuff now. Yeah, Norman says the days we were avowed. Delta. Oh, 911 said it's the Delta Foundation organization that usually organized Pittsburgh Pride. They were the people that sold the naming rights. Okay, never heard a good word about their leadership. Death Star's here. Hello. Gotta go to work. I'm sorry to hear that. Blue work. I hope you're doing well. Death Star, a big hug to you. Thank you for popping by. Hope everything's going good. That's all. Just hope everything's going good. Go good. Go good to work. That's my advice. Be an avowed homosexual at work. That's something that we found on a previous stream. Someone was described as avowed homosexual. Okay. What else are we looking for here? Okay, there's this ridiculous... Oh, hello. The summer after you've lost... Will you remember the summer after you've lost your tan? Look at this. It's just like, come get blasted with radiation. And remember your American Express card. Oh, this is actually a travel ad. I thought this was an ad for like a tanning salon or something. It's a travel ad. We'll give you good memories. Cool. Nixon letters probable hoax? Maybe. Alabama woman's letters she possessed were written by Richard Nixon to an alleged lover. She believes they were forgeries. They may have been the victim of an elaborate hoax. Accepts the word of Nixon agent said the letters are fakes. New York literary agent Scott Meredith dropped his plans to publish the letters, copy of which the Alabama woman has said he received... Wait, what? The Alabama woman has said he received indirectly from her. She refused to allow her name to be published. June 3rd had copies of letters she received from a friend who told her he got them from a White House employee who had spirited them out of the White House before the originals were mailed to an unidentified woman. Huh. I mean, that's interesting. I wonder what the story was behind that. Jason Witch says, gay witch, I feel seen. Oh, good. Well, we've got a lot more gay witch stuff that we can look at. 40s might be... oh, yeah. Frank says, coincidental inner form of liberation with gay in the article meaning happy. Yes, I think that's exactly what it was. Gay witches and archives we found under radical fairies is great. Oh, we should do a radical... Oh, let me write that down. We should do a radical fairy search. That would be very fun. Yes. Okay. Just curious if anything ever actually came of this. These Nixon love letters, a phrase I never expected to type. Richard Nixon, hopeless romantic. Okay, this is turning up letters between Richard Nixon and Pat, which I guess, sure. I guess Richard Nixon liked Pat. Why not? That's his wife. Nixon hoax love letters? I mean, there's very little that I'm seeing of yeah. Yes. Decries love letter report is sordid hoax. Obvious forgeries. Yeah. I wonder who was behind this. Sounds like a cash grab, says Grey Hat Jen. Yeah, either a cash grab or someone like trying to bring him down in some way, like trying to smear Richard Nixon. Although being like he was popular with the ladies isn't like a great scandal. Oh, but anyway, here's a gay liberation march. Where is this? British Columbia, Victoria, British Columbia. Behind sexual message lives someone real. Oh boy. A gay liberation march. There it is. Not a great reproduction here, but here's 3 people holding a sign up. Oh my. Inside my body, there is a small being of indeterminate shape and no sex at all. The small being's fingers are permanently hooked over the inside ledge of my cheekbones as it peers through my peepholes of my eyes. At times it looks down on the outlines of the body to which it is attached with a distinct feeling of surprise at the odd protuberances. It is forgotten that it lives inside a female. This is not a great description, but it's an interesting depiction of what it feels like to be, I don't know, in a body that doesn't quite feel right for you. Norman says, what did Lucianne Goldberg have to say about this Nixon? I don't know who that is. Who is that? Oh, Kiflum says Hitler's secret diary was a thing a couple years later, also a hoax. Let's see. I guess it's just a long thing. Homosexuals do not produce children. They need not form consumer units. I mean, homosexuals can produce children. Come on. Nor do they offer training facilities for future men and women. Boys taught to earn and organize. Girls to bear children and service those... Oh, service those boys. What? In a technological society, homosexuals are still an irritant. Their liaisons cannot be taxed as a family unit is taxed. They don't easily come under the thumb of the state. Oh, I think a lot of them did. They represent, in fact, not society's fear of perverted sex, it's fear of anarchy. That makes it sound kind of awesome, actually. There are many homosexuals, both in and out of GLF, to whom the movement is exactly that, and they hope to have every right to pursue this hope of sexual happiness. All right. How was the march, though, Mrs. Lincoln? All right, kind of a vague, we're just people and we just want you to like us article. A little tiny picture of 3 people marching in the parade. Just randomly clicked to the next page and saw winterized underwear poses a problem for Michael Wasco of Edmonton as he left, inspects his father's frozen long johns, and at right, thinks he's big enough and strong enough to get into them. All right. Thanks. 15,000 participate in Gay Liberation March. This is 1970. Where was this? Dixon, Illinois? Oh, no, New York. Bright banners and bold slogans declaring pride in homosexuality marched a 3-mile march by 15,000 to 20,000 men and women Sunday. This would have been the very first one after 69, after Stonewall in 69. And it looks like pride is mentioned in here. Say it loud, gays proud. Spectres tried to disrupt the parade. Many shouted taunts. 3 busloads of police department tactical patrol force kept the demonstration peaceful. Marchers carried signs indicating their hometowns. It listed Philadelphia, Boston, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, New Haven, Connecticut, and Rutgers University, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Group formed to commemorate the battles a year ago today between the police and homosexuals at the Stonewall Inn. Yeah, little report on the first Pride. Oh, Lucien Goldberg was Monica Lewinsky's friend who told her to save the dress. Ooh. Main source of the Lewinsky scandal, outlet and in cahoots with Linda Tripp. How are straight liaisons taxed? That's so Derek. They act as if heteros never have casual sex. Yeah. I mean, they can't be taxed like a marriage, but usually, like, aren't marriages taxed less? Isn't there a tax break when you get married? What else we got here? Anything good? Nah. What's this? Beyond the Stereotype. What it's like to be gay in Wichita. Kurt is a 31-year-old homosexual, single college graduate engineer at Wichita Aircraft Plant. Susan is 20-year-old student at a local university. Joan is 29, teacher at a local high school. Many gays are open about their lifestyles, others less so. Yes, sure. Some gay people are open and others are not. Groundbreaking. I can't think of any profession in Wichita that doesn't have someone who is gay. Yeah, okay, sure. Gay rights only recently has emerged as an issue of public debate. Gay rights issue strong opponents. Several weeks ago, interviewed more than 100 gay... Several weeks ago, we assigned this reporter to delve into the facts of Wichita's gay lifestyle. He's interviewed more than 100 gay men and women? 100? That is... So I do interviews. 100 is a lot to arrange. Gays and the police, an uneasy relationship. Sure, I bet. What, D4? Let's continue this. So what did he get for all these interviews? Okay, people decide making tough decisions to be gay. Should I do it? Should I not? Some of us are happy, some of us aren't. All right, there we go. Frank says that was the first anniversary of Stonewall? Yes. So the first Pride Parade a year after Stonewall. Yeah, Jillian says again with the pants theme. Yeah. Ooh. Alexa says, multitasking with some homework definitely caught my attention with the inspect father's frozen long johns. That's I got to get your attention every now and then. Throwing something really surprising just to snap everybody back, get your attention back. All right, we'll close that one out. Oh my God, we're just talking about tape recorders and switch to half price Bell and Howell tape recorder. There you go. That's what Linda Tripp was carrying around. Let's see, what have we got here? Quran to check Kayla's protest. Has requested that the Bridgeport Callow Society file with this office a report on incidents in which homosexuals were allegedly denied the protection of Bridgeport police. What year is this? 71. So this office would look into the matter and would report back to the Gay Liberation Group within a reasonable amount of time on the progress of the investigation. Three members said police stood by while members were beaten with tire chains and sticks during a gay liberation march at Seaside Park early this July. They said that since time incidents of harassment have occurred. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I guess that's Bridgeport, Connecticut. Yeah. So yeah, not all the marches were strictly happy affairs. Anything else good? Not really seeing anything. Watch out for Black Cats. Today's Friday the 13th. Yeah, gays and police. Uneasy? An understatement. Yeah. Gay Liberation March in Gotham. Gotham. This is according to the Hartford Current. Gay is a word homosexuals use to describe themselves. Oh my God. That's amazing. Trying to avoid any toward public disturbance. Men and women's clothes. Spokesman organizers said they disapprove this as detrimental as the effort to gain social acceptance. This, 1970. So a report on the same thing. Gay is a word homosexuals use to describe themselves. Steve says the Kalos Society was an early gay rights organization founded in 1968. What did Kalos stand for? And here's a guy playing an instrument that he invented. Cool. 500 stage gay liberation march in New York. This is 71. Okay, so obviously the numbers here are like wildly varying. The other one said 15,000 to 20,000. This one says 5,000. 49 block march. Harassment 2 years ago. Oh, this is the second one. All right. Spectators lining the parade route were greeted by demonstrators on bicycles who shouted, "The gay people are coming." That I would have liked to have seen. Steve says, much cavorting and prancing. That's what we're lacking from today's pride parades. Less corporate involvement, more cavorting. Less corporate, more cavorting. Corporate no, cavorting yes. Natural Thing may pave way for new film genre. This is 74. Some Patience is owed a very natural thing. Soft style gay love story. Advanced Series, a pioneer commercial feature about male homosexuals. Interesting. This is wild. This is an article from 74 about how, like, what if gay people start making movies? Be a lot of flops, that's what. Young schoolteacher has an unhappy affair with a young insurance executive. Like any routine love story, it explores the distinction between love and sex. Inevitability, the alienation of the young schoolteacher, Larkin, who co-directed, actors, neglecting to depict gay culture in its details by concentrating its lens instead on a single bland love relationship, provides a suitable movie for the gay community, which must be understandably starved for respectful films, skips the wholehearted and probing approach that might attract a wider audience, avoids any exploitation angle. One of the most successful sequences in the movie is an excerpt in documentary footage from a gay liberation march in New York City. The scene, brief yet funny and informative, makes one wonder why no directors yet bothered to chronicle the gay movement in comparable documentary form. Wow. They'd realize within not much more time that we ought to actually make a documentary about gay stuff. What if we made documentaries about gay people? Actually, it had been, like, at that point. The Queen had actually been made. So they're not widely known, but it had been made. I think the Queen was 68. Oh, Kelos is a Greek word meaning noble. Oh. Oh boy, the tape recorder would cost 230 days with inflation. Wow. Yeah, James Polk, what if gay people started making movies? George Cukor. But, like, about actual gay life, not like, oh, there's something kind of gay about this. Wait, why is everybody saying soap? Soap. Wait, no. Soap. I'm trying to figure out what you mean. Why like multiple people said soap at the same time. I don't know why. What else we got here? I don't know. Anything good? We got Uptown Saturday Night starring Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, and Bill Cosby. Whoops. Oh, you mean Soap, the TV show? Yeah, I think that came a couple years later is the thing, and obviously not a movie. And not made by gays. Or a documentary. Patrons of the theater who loudly enjoyed it, a reminder that the gay movement is among the most thriving, colorful, and intense movements alive in America today. Oh, somebody was asking about the name of the show in which Billy Crystal played a gay character. How did I miss that? Oh, Grey Hat Jen. I completely missed your comment there. What was the TV show that Billy Crystal was a gay character? I love that thing. I'm sorry. I was like, why is everyone saying soap? I completely missed your comment. Yeah, it's just to mess with me. Okay, what else have we got here for Gay Liberation March? Homosexuals. Joanne Carbon was the organizer of last weekend's Gay Liberation March in Asbury Park. The Asbury Park Mother of Two and Jackson Township man discussed the impact of their going public. I hope it's just like homosexuals. This is New Jersey. New South Wales police have dropped charges against 14 Victorians arrested at a gay liberation march in Sydney last August after the police declared a march by delegates of the 4th National Homosexual Conference an illegal procession. Oh, what the what? Okay. Cable TV has great potential. Cable TV, the long-awaited dream, is here, but it remains to be seen whether the cable will fulfill its promise. In the series of articles, Less Rich examines the Miracle Medium, its potential, its realities, its politics, its limitations. This is the first of 4 articles. It's only some 10% of all American homes with TV, and most of the systems are in the more remote areas where reception is a problem. Cable TV is doing an excellent job of filling the original role, which just provided looped into the cable system, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so cable is new. What is that? But it does mention... Let's see here. It says the useful and sometimes artistic work provided by Open Channel and other organizations has so far been in the minority. The casual viewer sampling the public access channels of New York is more likely to be treated to a gay liberation march, a witch in Central Park, an amateur satire with tiresome nudity by Anton Perich, or a California production described as a candid video view of Mayor Joseph Alito of San Francisco as he picks lint off his suit. Okay, so... public access is here, but it's hard to get many people interested in it. Well, that remained a problem. I can't believe they cited a gay liberation march and a witch in Central Park as something boring that you'll find on public access.
Public access would find a way to make it boring.
James is correct. Public access would find a way to make it very boring. Lane the Drummer... Video Drum says, Jamie Babbitt did go from But I'm a Cheerleader to anti-gay Gilmore Girls. Oh, I didn't know that. Is Gilmore Girls anti-gay? Yeah, James Polk said, cable TV has great potential. Flash forward to 2021. Who? It had its time, I guess. It had a moment. Charles Ritz says, was Miss Jane Hathaway in Beverly Hillbillies a lesbian? I remember hearing rumors, but I don't think that's ever been confirmed. A lot of these actors, like, rumored to be queer, but never actually, like, talked about it openly, so it's hard to say for sure. Dave says, does anyone have cable now? We started streaming around 2014. My mom does. She's 84. I don't... Yeah, like... We have... Yeah, it's all internet. It's all... I actually think we have... If we hooked up a cable box, I think we actually are technically subscribed to cable because for some reason, the internet package with cable is cheaper than the internet package without. Keith says, Gay Liberation March and a witch in. I'm game. Yeah, Jason says a witch is my kind of happening. Let's look at some of that. Jesus, what a headline. Black woman seeks post. Although Saratoga Springs will not elect a mayor, this woman has announced her candidacy. She'll run under the sponsorship of the Women's Political Caucus as a gay black woman. She announced her candidacy during the weekend Gay Liberation March at Albany. I wonder how she did. Magora Kennedy, 33. Let's see. Thank God for people with names that are, oh my goodness, Reverend Goddess Magora Kennedy. Well, I think this is her obit. Yeah. Once a tomboy who chased girls in upstate New York, Reverend Kennedy was forced to marry a man at age 14. Her mother thought a marriage would cure her. Her mother was wrong. Being black, lesbian, and woman of the church made her journey an uphill battle all the way. She never stopped fighting for her rights. From rejecting rules enforced by her mother to participating in the Stonewall Uprising, Reverend Kennedy only became more resolute. She's been out and proud as a lesbian for more than 50 years. Her extensive work in civil rights continues to inspire younger generations. Not an obit, a tribute. Wow, there she is.
Once I came out, there was no going back. And especially being lesbian and black and in the church, you know, it was difficult, but I stood my ground and I refused to let people intimidate me. Saratoga Springs is a small town after July and August. And I could always talk to my mother. She always told me come to her with anything, which I did. And everything was okay until the news started spreading around town that I was chasing the girls.
She seems fantastic. All right. I love that we discovered this person through, where was the article? It was I think it was a few pages back. So I don't know if she actually won this election, but what a delight that she's still here. Yeah, you need to interview her, says Norman. She seems amazing. Is she still alive? It looks as though she... Oh, wait. Yeah, 31 years lost. I wonder if that refers to, just the time that she was not able to live the life of her choosing. Looks like there's an exhibit about her opening in January. Oh, open now. Where is this? Brooklyn. Wow. Okay. She seems fantastic. Born 1938. There she is. It looks like the 90s, maybe. There she is in a pride parade. Riding guest of honor there. There she is, decked out with all kinds of buttons and stuff. This is amazing. Here's her website. Outstanding. Outstanding. Love her hair and hair accessories. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this wonderful woman. Oh, it's such a pleasure when you find somebody who was involved in the movement decades ago. There she is, noted in 1972, and here she is still doing her thing to this day. Sim says, we keep running into possible podcast guests. I know. Sadly, the guy that I wrote to, that we found a couple weeks ago, has not written back to me. So I don't know. Maybe he just didn't get my message or something. Maybe he doesn't want to talk. Oh, well. But yeah, she seems good. Let's see. What else have we got? Oh, that's right. We were looking at some of these theater ads here. Anything exciting? I mean, some great, where do you start? Do you go see Promises, Promises? Do you see Follies with, I don't know, with Yvonne DiCarlo. Okay, that's the only name that I recognize in this. I don't know who these other actors are. The Gingerbread Lady, Last of the Red Hot Lovers, the Eugene O'Neill. Hair, there we go. Fiddler with who? Who's in this one? Well, they don't cite any names, so probably not anybody great. Oh, do you see Company or do you see Follies? Both playing at the same time. 2 different Sondheims. And then there's O Calcutta. O Calcutta. That is there.
Oh, what a thrill.
James says, what a thrill. Exclamation points and all. So O Calcutta, famously, a nude sex musical in the vein of Hair, but not as good. So basically you have a continuum of clothing optional sex musicals. Hair as the most popular, O Calcutta way down the list, and then at the bottom, I would say, is another one called Let My People Come. That is a real musical, a real thing. I think we looked at it last week, on last week's stream, or it might have been on one of my Twitch streams, because I stream BT Dubs, if you haven't heard, over at twitch.tv/Matt Baum, twitch.tv/Matt Baum. during the week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we looked at some weird musicals on a recent stream. And of course, Let My People Come was one of the ones that came up. Sam VH's Follies. Yes. That's what Derek said. Yeah, that's what Derek says. What happened to that guy from Facebook? I sent him a message and didn't find him. So a couple of weeks ago, we found this guy who was doing some activism in the early 70s, still active today as a figure in the, I think it was the Maine queer community. So I wrote to him on Facebook because we found his profile on Facebook. I was like, I'd love to interview you and have you on the podcast. Haven't heard back, sadly. That's what Derek says. I saw Company a few years ago. Amazing production. Who was in it? Was there anyone good? Obviously, there's a really good one with Stephen Colbert is in it, and Patty. Nope, not Patty Duke. Patty. Oh no, I forgot her name. What's New Buenos Aires? Lupone. Patty Lupone. The Odd Couple had a parody called Bathtub. Oh boy. The Odd Couple had a parody called Bathtub. Was it about two men who want to take a bath together? Sam PH says, Follies is amazing, but rarely done. Its themes are a bit much for many audiences. I saw it in college. My college did a production of Follies. I did not find it compelling, but I don't know if that's because of the actors or because I just wasn't ready for that kind of a show. Good music. How is The Rothschilds? Says suddenly Steve. Sam says it's the first show that I saw. I don't know. I've never seen that one. There's Phil Silvers and Sandy Dennis in How the Other Half Lives. Phil Silvers, obviously better known as Sergeant Bilko. Obviously, as I'm sure you all know. Sitcom of the 1950s. That yeah, we're all up to date on that. Okay, I love this font for Ticketron. Ticketron's off-Broadway directory. Beep boop. What else we got here? A lot of shows that look like flops. Well, Godot, probably pretty good. Marigold, never heard of that one. Touch, a communal musical. Okay. Touching and Irresistible. The Proposition, an improvised musical parody. That sounds like excruciating. The Dirtiest Show in Town. What? This makes Oh Calcutta seem like Little Women, says Clive Barnes. The Dirtiest Show in Town. This actually, I want to clip this one. This really gets the imagination flowing. Oops. I did not mean to do that. Hold on. Wait. What do you suppose the dirtiest show in town was about? I mean, pretty clear. I guess the title really tells you. Bathtub was a dude hippie musical. Goofy fun. Oh, that sounds good. I like that. Yes, everyone's telling me Patty Lupone. Thank you. Phil Silver's show is on every weeknight on Decades at 11 p.m. The Rothschilds was okay, says Sam. I was only 11, excited to be going to a show. Hal Linden of Barney Miller was the star. Video says, never saw Odd Couple TV show. Absolutely loved the movie the one time I saw it. Thought it was one of the best mid-late 60s movies I'd seen. Maybe it doesn't hold up, but I hope it does. There was going to be a gay version in the 70s, and it was just too controversial. I don't remember the name of it, but there was a plan to make a Odd Couple where someone was gay. And I want to say there was a remake of The Odd Couple with Billy D. Williams. I might be making that one up. I don't think I am. The new Odd Couple. Nope. I'm wrong about it being Billy D. Williams. It was Ron Glass, also known as Shepard Book from Firefly. Aired from 82 to 83, updated version, remake, primarily African-American, European-American cast. Both African-American college buddies met in the 1950s. So this actually, maybe this is what I'm thinking of, where maybe they wanted to make one of these characters gay. Anyway, remake of The Odd Couple. What else have we got here? Midsummer Night's Dream, Scenes from American Life, Tarot, a magical mystical mind-zapping experience, a musical for 1971. All right, we'll just leave it there. Town Theaters is showing My Night at Maud's, Claire's Knee, and Wuthering Heights. Special appearance by Kate Bush. THX 1138. Oh, speaking of American Graffiti, George Lucas's pre-Star Wars sci-fi Visit the Future, where love is the ultimate crime. Oh, George. Oh, George. I say that with great affection, but oh, George. Glenda Jackson won the Oscar for Women in Love, which features a nude wrestling scene between Oliver Reed and Alan Bates, says Sam. Full frontal. Really? Is that on this page? Because there's a lot on this page that I don't see. But hold on. Let's look that up. What was it called? Women in Love. Glenda Jackson. 1968? 1969 British romantic films. Ken Russell, Alan Bates, Oliver Reed, Glenda Jackson, Jamie Linden. From D.H. Oh, D.H. Lawrence's Women in Love. Okay. But where's the wrestling scene? Oh. Well, okay. Sponsored by Art Forum International. We know what that means. Art Forum International. We are mentally and spiritually close. Therefore, we should be physically close, too. Oh, all right. I'm going to use that line. When quarantine's over and it's time to go back to the bars, we should be physically close because we are mentally and spiritually close. Look at this. This is actually a very beautiful shot. This is tender and lovely. I was not aware of this. Oh, and it's an animated GIF, just as this film was meant to be seen. Women in Love, 1969. I'm going to look this up because I'm not familiar with this one. From 1969. Nice. Oh, Norman says, plot for Dirtiest Joe, about the members of New York City gym obsessed about their life situations, eventually leading up to the gay and straight characters writhing together in an orgy. Yes, Sam says, hence THX sound. Of course. Of course, hence THX sound. And THX appearing unexpectedly in other films. I think the American Graffiti has a THX license plate hidden in one. There it is. And one brief little scene. THX 138. That's Harrison Ford drives this car, I believe. What a car. What a beautiful, beautiful car that yellow one is. So before he was Han Solo, there's Harrison Ford. Gosh, what a hunk in American Graffiti. He is so young. Like, what is he there? He's like maybe 20. Oh, he's 30. Never mind. It just looks real good for his age. That's astounding. He does not look 30. THX 1138, a future where people engage in pointless consumerism, are isolated from physical contact, spend time on drugs to suppress their emotions while Big Brother watches. Yeah, it'll never happen. Never happen. Charles says, I used to think that Alice in the Brady Bunch was a lesbian, but then I remembered she had her boyfriend, Sam. Of course, he was always too busy delivering his meat to give her proper attention. Yeah, Sam and Alice were each other's beards, says Sam. That is, I think, a very... I think that is an interpretation that does not take a lot of stretching. Because the characters both do read as a bit queer, particularly Alice. I also want to point out... where was it? Oh, Kama Sutra 71, the Book of Love, the Masters of Erotica. Just, you know, how many euphemisms can be squeezed into a single ad? Oh, and here's what you were referring to before. That's so Derek. Behold, cometh the Vanderkellens, a new play. None of these titles really tell you. I mean, some of them do, I guess. Few of these titles tell you what to expect. Kama Sutra 71 probably tells you what you need to know. Behold, cometh the Vanderkellens? Harder to say. Second Smash Month for Adultery for Fun and Profit. That is a good title, actually. An unabashed ball with class. Flick is probably the best blue film ever done because Adultery for Fun and Profit is fun, sexy, young, and uninhibited. The film may spread to a broad young adult audience. We got Tora, Vanishing Point, I think that one never really stuck around. Sidney Poitier and Brother John. Andromeda Strain. I didn't know they made an Andromeda Strain in the 70s. That was remade in the 90s, obviously, based on the book by... I forget. It was based on a book by somebody. Who wrote the Andromeda Strain? Oh, well. Note the hexagon there. It's the original hex. Dustin Hoffman and Little Big Man, Ryan's Daughter, Hustler's Punishment, Censorship in Denmark, Friends, Who Needs the World When You Own the Moon and the Stars? Friends. Okay, that's about it for the weird and mystifying movie listings. I really love that. The dirtiest show in town. Jeez. Makes Calcutta seem like Little Women. Oh, Michael Crichton, thank you. Yes, I knew it was somebody good. Videodrome says, I love the scene in the Brady Bunch movie where Sam takes Alice to a dance, a giant cow van, and then gives her a bowling ball as a present. She's dressed like she's going to the prom. I haven't seen the Brady Bunch movie in a long time. Oh, Michael Douglas is in the 79 Andromeda Strain? I didn't know that. Shorts. Oh, this is when we were looking at, for Hot Pants news. Shorts, once called Hot Pants, survive because they're cool. Great, thanks. Good. Definitely spill 700 pages of ink on that. What? Hold on. Here's the poop on pop from Prudential Savings Bank. It's an ad for like proof of payment orders. It's some boring financial thing. Anything else good? No, I'm not seeing anything else too exciting here. She tired of just making candles. Oh, it's an article about Gwyneth Paltrow. A yacht watching weekend? Yeah, that's definitely for me. Sports. Looks like an ad for Raisin in the Sun over there. The Great Gatsby over here. The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat. Oh, hold on, this title. The Seduction of Mimi. This guy like opening his jacket here. There's somewhere new to do. A dream orgy. Arch Brown's The Night Before. Plus Bob and Daryl and Ted and Alex. X-rated color. All male cat. This is great. I love this one. I'm just going to clip this one as well. Because this is such a... Honestly, this might be a t-shirt right here. Mr. T-Bone says 1971 was the movie. Michael Douglas in 79. You're maybe thinking of he was in the China Syndrome? That sounds... I haven't seen that one in a long time either. Oh, was there an ad for Bertano's where Patti Smith once worked? Yeah, Sam says, can't speed through the sports fast enough. Well, there's nothing there. Okay, so quite a few things to look at here, actually. This, The Night Before, plus Bob and Daryl and Ted and Alex. This, with a dream orgy. That looks great. Station to Station does look interesting, although red flag on 16 and coming out. X-rated all-male cast. Maybe not that. 1 and 2 and plus Casey and Jaws at the David... What? Adults only? What year is this? 74. Wait, were they showing porn and Jaws? Was Jaws out in 74? I think it was. I think it was Jaws 1. No! 75. Was there a different porn film called Jaws? Also, I love that it's like right over Citizen Kane and the 39 Steps. 3-hour show, 1 and 2 and plus Casey and Jaws, 1974. Okay. Yeah, so the novel came out in 74. 74 is when they shot it. Jaws came out in 75. David Dunn says, mouths? Yeah, I think that might just be a movie about somebody's mouth called Jaws, but what a weird... It must have been because the book came out and the book was a big hit. So my guess here is that somebody made a porn parody of the book in 74 before the actual Spielberg Jaws came out in 75. I'm gonna guess. Sam says there's a Deep Jaws porno in 76. I'm gonna guess this one's based on book rather than film. Because the film hadn't been a hit at that point. The film didn't exist. Oh, Sam looked up the 74 Jaws porn movie. Oh, you found the Deep Jaws one. You found the 76 one. Yeah, Dave says, without him out, see you in 2 weeks. See you, Dave. We'll see you again soon. Sam says, it was the era of Deep Throat. It certainly was. Oh my goodness. Just going to point this out. Isaac Hayes over here, aka Shaft, is Truck Turner, starring Yaphet Kotto. Two fantastic actors. Just a little side note over there across from the porn. Wonder what the story was with that. ADH says, have you read Pulp Friction? Can you recommend? I haven't. I don't think I'm familiar with that. So Derek says, what an age to live in. Yeah. We've got Chinatown over here, Animal Crackers over here, Uptown Saturday Night, of course, Sutherland and Gould in Do It to the CIA as Spies. What is the name? Wait, hold on. What is the actual name of the movie? So it's Donald Sutherland and David Gould. David Gould? No, Elliot Gould. Do it to the CIA as Spies. Is Spies the name of the film? With Zuzu. At no point in this ad am I able to tell what the actual title of the movie is. Yeah, revival movie theaters are a cool thing back then. Thankfully, now we have TCM. Still, what a pleasure to go see an old movie in an actual theater. Andy Warhol's Frankenstein in 3D. Barbara Streisand in For Pete's Sake. Zany Barbara. Look at this weird zany Barbara just next to her face. Oh my God, I love this. The Day of the Dolphin. I'm going to guess this is a horror film about dolphins. This thing leaping over him get that thing away from me. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, starring Peter Fonda and Susan George, and The Sting. Oh, and The Exorcist, of course, held over. Look at all these listings for The Exorcist. Oh, Ellie Gould, Babs vs. Husband, of course. Forgot about that. We got quite a couple on this page. Bitter McQueen says, all those porn theaters in my days, in New York, back in the days of Dirty Times Square before it was revamped. Yeah, a different time for Times Square. Oh, and here's a ad for Harold and Maude. That's nice. That's nice. Steve says, The Day the Dolphin was great. Am I correct in thinking it's a horror film about dolphins? Oh my God. So that takes us back to, it was about a military plot to militarize dolphins. Okay, great. Good idea. Good idea. That'll work out well for everyone. Official title appears to have been Spies, which came a few years after MASH. Oh, it was maybe a parody of MASH. Oh, that, Kadow, that actually does make sense. So originally we started off just looking at some witch stuff here. And I mean, here's just a nice little feature about Bewitched coming to shoot in Salem. So Bewitched did it's called the Salem Saga. They filmed a few episodes in Salem, Mass. because their sets burned down and had to be rebuilt. So they went and shot somewhere else for a few episodes. Come to Salem because of the town's history of witch hunting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, it's just a cute little feature about that. I also wanted to point this out, this little twink of the nose, which is how they referred to the little bewitched nose gesture. I found multiple articles that do that. Let's see, there's another one. Where is it? Is that? No. Where was the other one? Oh, there it is. Back with the twink of a nose. Although, is this the same article, just printed differently? Yeah, it's the same. It's actually the same article. So twink didn't mean back then, what it means now, twink just meant like sparkling or twinkly. So people use the word twink a lot more freely at that time. Let's see, anything else fun here? I don't think there's anything really. It's just like Bewitched is coming back. Smells Elizabeth. And of course, here's Dick Sargent, the new Darren Stevens. Now, Dick Sargent, obviously, we know now that his great secret is that he was gay when they were shooting Bewitched. He was not publicly out. He didn't come publicly out until 1991, but he was gay. He actually had a partner, a longtime partner, when they were filming Bewitched. Elizabeth Montgomery talked about it afterwards. They just never talked about it on the set. They had a partner back then. And the reason, so I've been working on a video about Bewitched, going to be coming out soon. Patrons, you should be getting it actually very soon. It's hopefully ready for patrons get early ad-free access to my videos, and hopefully releasing that later today. So been working on this video because Bewitched is a super queer show, but it never actually had a queer episode. It's a show about a man and a woman, a ostensibly heterosexual couple, but something about the show is very, very mysteriously gay. What is it exactly? So I have a video kind of dissecting that and going through Bewitched and being like showing off some clips of like, here's the little queer subtext that was lurking just under the surface, not just with queer actors like Dick Sargent. And yeah, suddenly Steve says a lot of the cast on Bewitched was gay. We certainly had Dick Sargent. We had Paul Lynde, both closeted at the time. There was Maurice Evans, who played Samantha's father, and rumors, unconfirmed chatter about Agnes Moorehead, who played Endora, and Alice Ghostley, who played, oh shoot, what was her name on the show? I can't remember her name on the show. Alice Ghostley, who you probably know better as the kind of a side character on Designing Women. Anyway, very like queer cast going on. Also, not that she was old enough for this really to be a thing. One of the twins who played Tabitha, the little girl on the show, later as an adult came out as queer. So yeah, very queer cast. That's what Derek says. In Ireland, we have an old showgirl called Twink. She toured America and everything. Oh, that's lovely. Charles says Endora on Bewitched was TV's first drag queen. She has a great speech that is actually in the video that I'm working on, where she describes what's so wonderful about being a witch. And it feels like she makes being an outsider seem so desirable. We're Quicksilver. We live in the sound of music, in the twinkle of a star. Our home has no limits. There is nowhere we cannot go, nothing we cannot be. It's this beautiful, beautiful speech about being different and how good it is. Yeah, Norton says Uncle Arthur and Darren forever. I would like to think that if Bewitched was made today, like if there was a remake of Bewitched, which we don't need, but it's only a matter of time, that Uncle Arthur would be played as an actual gay uncle. That he's so queer-coded on the show, but he plays like the quintessential gay uncle kind of character. He like flits in, has a fun time, plays some jokes, and then he gallivants off on some other adventure. I think if there was a modern Bewitched, that Uncle Arthur would be the like a fun gay uncle type. Obviously, that couldn't happen back in 60s. Oh, well. Video Dump says, Alice Ghostley, interesting career. Grease, Designing Women, 78's very strange political horror film, Blue Sunshine. Oh, I don't know that one. Greyhead Jen says, dolphin militarization was literally a thing. They attempted it anyway. Don't recall if it was Navy or Coast Guard. One of the people who worked on that program wrote about it. Oh, Esmeralda. Thank you, Charles Ritt. That was Alice Ghostley's character. Jason Bush says, Paul Lynde and Agnes Moorehead are the gayest things on Bewitched. Among the gayest things. But there's also like moments that just come off as very queer, like Samantha explaining to Tabitha what it is to be a witch. We live in a world that's not ready for people, that's not used to people like us and may never be. It's like this moment that really resonates of like, oh, this is a speech that a lot of queer people have given to young gays when they come out. There's another episode where Samantha's magic starts going haywire because she's repressing herself too much, and she's told, you must stop feeling guilty about being who you are. Like, it's actually very, I don't know, it's touching. Anyway, so there's Dick Sargent, who came out in the 90s, and he actually did an interview, and I include this in the video that I'm working on. He did an interview where he described how he would have wanted to make Bewitched even gayer. GQ says there's already a remake of Bewitched. Oh, yeah, with Will Ferrell as Darren. Not as good. Not as good, sadly. Just not the same. Although perfect casting had Amy Sedaris as Gladys Kravitz. Like, amazing. K-Dow says, does WandaVision count as an indirect remake of Bewitched? That's a tribute. I love it. I love what they're doing with Bewitched on WandaVision. And no spoilers. Oh, my God. But I can't wait to talk more about that at some point. Can't wait to talk more about that at some point. But yeah, they're doing some great stuff with Bewitched with WandaVision. Anyway, what else we got? Twink of the Nose, 6th magic year for Bewitched. Congratulations. Oh, and there's that picture of the new Darren again. Oh, there it is. Alice Ghostly was Esmeralda, the witch who was sometimes a maid. I mean, imagine that. You're a magical witch, but you're also a maid. Da-da, da-da. Let's see. We're going back to page 2 for the beginning of that article. Oh my God, it's just all ads. Here we go. What causes the bottom to fall out of a hit series? Oh no. Well, Bewitched was, well, sort of new for television. The producers wanted Tammy Grimes. Fairly simple idea. Arrived 64. Ratings hit. Lost as the seasons rolled past. Dick Sargent does look and sound a lot like Dick York. Produced children. Okay, so just summarizing Bewitched, and like it got old. Liz lends magic to witchery. Elizabeth, a lot of the success of the show is due to just Elizabeth Montgomery being incredibly charismatic. Dirty Uncle says, would Peter be the queer uncle? Wait, in that analogy. Peter be the queer uncle in that analogy. Wait. Oh, wait. Do you mean on WandaVision? Yes, actually. I think so. I think the answer to that is yes. Here's just a little brief thing about, Bewitched is on tonight. Nothing too exciting there. Weirdly, on this article, the only reason that this caught my eye is because they flipped the headlines, I assume by accident. So the headline is, and ruins Siri's schedule. And then goes, her baby bewitches Elizabeth. I think it means to be, her baby bewitches Elizabeth and ruins Siri's schedule. Because Elizabeth Montgomery had a baby while they were shooting. She had a boy while they were making Bewitched. And screwed up the filming schedule just a little bit. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see. The lonely chose not to appear in Bewitched with their own offspring. Guys, Bewitched show, kind of directors. It's a brief little... Oh, yeah. Murphy twins and Murphys depart from their island vacation heading back to Canoga Park. This is just a quick thing about the Erin and what is the other? Diane. Alternating on the TV set since child labor laws and union regulations restrict the number of hours youngsters may be used in consecutive filming. So these are the two twins who appeared as Tabitha on Bewitched. One of them still active in showbiz today. As far as she is talked about, she is straight. But her sister, Diane, came out as queer. She's out of show business now and does queer entrepreneur support. She runs local, it's a chamber of commerce for queer people somewhere in Southern California. Charles says, I wonder if the writers on Bewitched knew about their gay vibe on the show. Well, I talk about this a little in the video that I'm working on. Elizabeth Montgomery confirmed in an interview that they were aware of it at the time, and they thought that it was a neat thing to get across in a subtle way, and kept doing it. So it was certainly, they certainly knew. Let's see. Anything good here? Basically, the gist of this article is people just like the show. Cool. Okay, that's nice. Continue from page 8, and we're on page 35. So we want page, 35. Let's just subtract 20 from that. Let's say 90 or so. I want to go back 4 more pages to... Oh, and this is the same article we've seen in other places. Yep, same article, Magical Witch. This has been 65. Okay, so this is an earlier article about Bewitched. I love this. Yes, Keith says the Chamber of Queermers. Exactly. So when Bewitched premiered, it was part of this like wave of shows. It wasn't like the beginning, but it was part of a wave of shows that were more fantasy based and I tend to call them premise shows because it wasn't just like it's a normal suburban family. It was something weirder. Like, for example, the people who made Leave It to Beaver, some of them went on to make The Munsters, which both shows are about a suburban family, but one is about a normal suburban family and the other is about a suburban family that's all monsters. Anyway, so here's earlier in its appearance. Let's see. This has been the season of the complete non sequitur in television. The anti-involvement shows. How does one get involved with such patently impossible types as Munsters and Adamses, Robot Ladies and Martian Men? Bewitched, the solidest hit of the season, would also be to fall in this anti-involvement category. Yet somehow it doesn't. Central Witch Samantha is played by an actress with the well-scrubbed all-American girl face of Elizabeth Montgomery. Looks like the gal you'd get involved with. She's a nose-twitching witch. Samantha's husband finds out about her. He doesn't believe her. Samantha's witchcraft literally doesn't solve the problem. Christmas is the second one. Yeah, day off. Demands on the little free time Liz has are enormous. If Bewitched ever gives us time enough to see Paris together. All right, just a quick hit article about like, sure, a lot of weird shows this season. And there were. So there was like, there's My Favorite Martian. There was My Living Doll, which was about a man who has a beautiful robot played by one of the cat women, Julie Newmar. Suddenly Steve says, it's terrible to call a family on Leave It to Beaver all monsters. I beg your pardon. Jason Bush says, the Munsters were the normal suburban family, right? Yeah, of course they were. Of course. They just, you know, one was a Frankenstein, the other was a werewolf. Totally normal. Yeah, do Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, etc. The second wave, where every show had to be pitched as, it's like Father Knows Best, but with the twist that X. Exactly. And we had another one of those for some reason in the 80s, where we had like Small Wonder or, you know, Alf, shows where there's something weird about the American family and we got to keep it a secret. I think a lot of reasons going on behind that. Oh, my mother, the car, Norman says, exactly. We watched a whole bunch of those theme songs over on Twitch last week. We just had a stream where we just watched some theme songs. It was so much fun. Just sat down, ran through a whole bunch of theme songs for shows that were just like fabulous songs. Like My Mother, the Car, such a great number. The original Thundercats theme song, fantastic. And then some lesser known ones, Happy Days, lesser known ones like shows that just didn't last, like Karen, for example, a lesser known show that didn't last, but a theme song by the Beach Boys. Anyway, Bewitched is a something with area viewers. So this is a poll from 1965. So they polled their viewers of their favorite TV shows, Bewitched well ahead of all the others. Ahead of The Fugitive, My Three Sons, Saturday Night at the Movies, Walt Disney's World of Color, Bonanza, The Addams Family, Peyton Place, Ozzie and Harriet, and Patty Duke. Bewitched has weak competition, Kildare and Password. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. finished poor 48th. Plenty of support in the best show rating, no less than any blah, 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 blah. Oh, and now we're jumping back to some other Bewitched stuff. Not actually about the show. Here's some writing from 1908. This is just some fiction that appeared in the Sacramento Bee about the witchcraft of Chuma. It's a short story. Newspapers used to do this a lot more, where they would just run fiction and like multi-part serialized fiction. Not so much a thing these days. Yeah, let's see. Nothing really going on there. Here's an article from 94 about just Bewitched reruns and people realizing, oh, people have nostalgia for stuff. People like reruns? Huh, interesting. So many of us at Nick at Night love Bewitched in large part because of the advertising part of it. At least 20 episodes have advertising, key part of the plot. We picked out what we thought were the best 6. Charles Ritz said, oh yeah, the theme song of Patty Duke. Patty likes to rock and roll, hot dog makes her lose control. That's a great theme song too. Roan says, what was the 80s show where the teen girl had the absentee alien dad? Oh, that was, yeah, Rogan, he says, Wish on a Star, something kind of witchy. It was, not Down to Earth. Out of This World. Thank you, James. People forget when they talk how weird it was. Saved by the Bell could pause time. Wait, Zach? Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean, it's like a Greek drama, right? You're having an aside to the audience. I guess you don't have a chorus exactly. You have a chorus of one hunk. One of my favorite magic shows from the early 70s, Nanny and the Professor. I've never seen Nanny and the Professor. Is Phoebe Figili? Eric, I've never seen the show, so I have no idea what the premise is. Oh yeah, Videodrome, Melissa Joan Hart talking to the camera. Yeah, exactly. I honestly like those direct address kind of mechanics. Anyway, here's Bewitched appearing on Nick at Night. Two master storytellers, bewitched scientists with strange tales. And it's just a thing about what a good storyteller Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke are. The Bewitching Miss Montgomery. So now we're getting into New York Times. So this is slightly more substantial reporting. This is what, 64? Let's see. Anything good here? Bewitched brings back reminders of the old film I Married a Witch in the Play, Bell, Book, and Candle. Both of those movies were what Bewitched was based on. Fortunately, they were both owned by, I want to say Columbia, which owns Screen Gems, which produced Bewitched. So no rights issues there. Ghost of Mrs. Muir introduced me to Charles Nelson Riley, says Sam. Oh, always a pleasure to be introduced to Charles Nelson Riley. Let's see. I had to use the Twitch moment to peek at another film, she explained. And since we wanted a distinctive piece of business to identify with Samantha, Bill remembered that thing you do with your nose. The audience is waiting for that twitch, says Asher, director on the show. So Elizabeth Montgomery's husband, William Asher, was director of a lot of episodes of Bewitched. We never throw it in merely because it looks cute. We save until Samantha is so sorely tempted to use her witchery that she can't resist. And that's the point where the audience is usually saying, do something. I wonder what movie she used the nose twitch in before. Special effects man walking on planks above the set, manipulating wires attached to luggage like puppet strings, not visible to the cameras because they have been opaqued out, neutralized to blend in with the background. Oh my God. An electric bulb which lights up when Samantha handles it is really joined to wires which run up her long sleeves and then are ultimately connected to a 12-volt battery-operated camper light with no shock hazard. Let's hope not. One of the trickiest gambits is the business of having things suddenly appear or disappear, arranged by having her freeze with her hand extended at the moment the object appears. At that moment, Albane steps into camera range, plucks the object from her fingers and steps out again. Then the footage, which includes Albane, a total of 20,000 so far, 20,000 feet, I guess, is cut out of the film. It took a lot of practice, Miss Montgomery admits, before I learned to hold my hands perfectly still. Even that's much easier than the scene in which I was supposed to clean up my kitchen with witchery. I sort of went swish with my arms raised, had to leave them up in the air, aching, while the crew rushed in and swept and dusted the kitchen immaculate before the scene resumed. I'm getting better at it, I guess. I almost never flinch or recoil anymore, no matter what happens. So an interesting little fact about that, and no spoilers about WandaVision, but it does relate to WandaVision, is the way... So they had a few moments in WandaVision where they had to do the same thing. And apparently the way that they did that was by having... So the actress... what's her name? Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Elizabeth Olsen would do the gesture. Then someone would rush in and first they would put little stands under her arms to like mark where they were and also for her to rest her arms on. And she would also have her stunt double or just her double rush in and make the same gesture in front of her so they could mirror each other. So she had some reference to what sort of pose she should be in. I find that fast, like it's such a great solution to that question of like, how do you freeze for that long? Eric says, my favorite Bewitched episodes were always the issue shows, especially the ones addressing racism, Sisters at Heart. It's even a Christmas special. It's an interesting one, that Sisters at Heart. I would say, so that one was, it's interesting because it was written by, the story came from viewers, an English class at a high school in Los Angeles who visited the set and then had ideas about an episode that they wanted to make. And the show was like, hey, that's a good idea. We'll do that. It's a show that directly addresses race in a way that we would, I think, find problematic today. But for the time, it was very It was progressive for the time. I think we call it regressive today, but it's an interesting episode. T-Bone says, Saved by the Bell, talking to the camera didn't age well. I enjoy the YouTube series Zach Morris is trash because Zach was a total sociopath. Eric says, Nanny and the Professor was a Mary Poppins ripoff. You may like it. It's a ridiculous theme song in the style of a hippie folk rock ballad. Okay, great. That does sound good. ABC describes Samantha as someone who yearning to be a normal woman scrubbing floors. Oh, boy. Yikes. You know how normal women like to scrub floors? What woman doesn't love to scrub floors? You know, normal things to like. Anyway, so there she is, the bewitching Miss Montgomery. Also, the Beatles are at it again. I thought this would be about Bewitched. It's not. It's about Barbra Streisand. Maybe she is also a witch. But anyway, there's Barbara, bewitched and bewildered. Oh, Vincent Canby writing, what are we to think of Deep Throat? Hold on a second. What's going on there? Trying to write honestly about pornographic films is like trying to do one's shoe without walking. It's practically impossible without sacrificing stride and balance and a certain amount of ordinary dignity. What a great metaphor. The haughty approach, it's boring, has been suspected as evidence of a mixture of embarrassment and arousal. The Golly Gee Whiz style, they've gone as far as they can go, is patently untrue. While making fun of pornography is to avoid facing the subject at all. To suggest that pornography degrades the audience assumes a familiarity with all members of the audience. Maybe they've already degraded themselves. Not long ago, the director of several porno films, a seriously bearded young man with an interest in cinema, told me he was never aware of his performers feeling degraded. They do it because they enjoy it, because it's an easy way to make money. I think in that order. They're also exhibitionists. Difficult to write honestly, blah, 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 blah. For reasons that baffled me, became the one porno film in New York chic to see and be seen at. Sam says, wait, what about Barbara? Oh, you wanted me to read the Barbara thing? Okay. I don't think it's that interesting. There was a girl named Barbara. To tell the truth, she was no great beauty. Not once did Prince Charming cart her off to the ball. Blah, blah, blah. Talented she was from the beginning. So talented, she was able to make the rest of her impossible dream come true. Oh, boy. She was chunky and unkempt, brash and abrupt. But Barbara, by now Barbara spelled differently, it was nothing if not a quick study. Before long, she was giving a boffo audition for a Broadway musical called I Can Get It For You Wholesale. That's her first, big Broadway appearance. Wiping the show out from under its stupefied star Elliot Gould. Stupefied in many ways. Breathtaking triumph in Funny Girl, Oscar for the blah, blah, blah. Chance to be wooed by Ryan O'Neal, Up on a Sandbox. Barbara's had all that and then some, yet somehow, a lot of these articles, entertainment articles from the time, are just, basically the point of the article is a thing exists. Barbara's had all that, gossip columnists buzzing, bruised, Barbara cried ouch and then stopped the press. She steps gingerly with journalists. Brown hair is long and silky. Her skin is pale perfection. Her eyes are intense green. I'm not talking about her talents and her personality. 5-year-old dynamo of his son makes up... Yeah, okay. I mean, this is just an article about, Barbara exists. Bob says, the first and longest incantation ever recited in Bewitched was uttered thrice and never worked. What was the incantation? I will say this. I was watching one episode recently, and Endora is trying to summon caviar, and she says something like, beluga, beluga, come winds of the Caspian Sea, which really... shocked me because that's in The Little Mermaid. It's one of Ursula's lines when she's doing the spell. So an Ursula line taken from an episode of Bewitched, surprisingly. Anyway, here's a little travel article about why Salem is fun to go to. I thought that might be about Bewitched. Doesn't mention it. Oh, this is something to look up for another time. Hello, Mr. T. Welcome on in. A brief letter to the editor that says, the article on June 1st, there's a new time religion on campus, is seriously in need of correction regarding Witch, Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell. Witch has nothing whatsoever to do with any charming religious or occult revival, but rather is an extremely serious political group committed to the liberation of women all over the world. Signed, Cynthia Witch. I feel like there's more story behind this situation than is revealed in this one letter. I just really like that this letter exists here. So I'm going to just snip this as a reminder to myself to look more into whatever the situation is here. I love that it's signed Cynthia Witch. A few articles here about bewitching in children's stories. I don't think there's going to be anything too thrilling to that. And then a few other, like, much older ones. Oh, of course, Little Mermaid was written by Howard Ashman, says Videodrome. Yes, indeed. Probably a fan of campy old television, I think we can assume. That the person responsible for Little Shop of Horrors might have liked campy old stuff. T-Bone says, sounds like someone really wanted their name to spell out witch. Yeah, wait, what was it again? It was Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell. Great. Quite memorable. Declared to be a witch, a singular case in the recorder's court. Miss Hook thinks she is bewitched. The recorder cannot reason... Oh, my goodness. Who is that? Wait, let me call it up. Moonflea is following. Thank you for the follow, Moonflea. That's a follow over on Twitch. Just FYI. You can follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/MattBaum, and you'll get a little notification whenever I go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I just hang out and chat with folks about stuff like this. So if you're enjoying these streams, follow me over there. We chat about stuff like this. I play a little video game. Often I do some Stardew, chat about whatever's going on in our life, and it's just fun. K-Dow says, big vile energy there. Yeah, Villains International League of Evil. Also, what's the one... Is it No, Chaos is from Get Smart. What was the one from James Bond? Was Vile from James Bond? What was the criminal conspiracy organization from James Bond? Maybe that was Vile. Anyway, there's an article from 1895 where one neighbor accuses the other of indulging in the practice of witchcraft and bewitching her. They could not find, I think, any evidence. I will stop. Oh. She had complained of her circulating reports about her being a witch and that the reports must cease. The judge was astonished by Miss Hook responding, I will stop talking about her if she will remove the spell of witchcraft about me. Said she was possessed of spirits caused by the influence of Miss Clevitt, unable to sleep at nights. Miss Hook said she could help me if she wanted to. I asked her if she had placed a spell on me to bless me in the name of the Spirit and the Holy Ghost. Placed a spell on me. Claimed to spell on my sister. The family believed that she was bewitched. This is a long article. You people are simply driving this woman insane by giving way to her hallucination. I'm surprised that you, healthy, strong, and intelligent, should encourage her in her delusion. Harsh. Invited to the house to see that she is bewitched. Girl says she would have power. Friendly talk. Refused to do it. Feared that the woman was a witch. Miss Hook was bordering on insanity, and her hallucination has taken a form of being bewitched. Blah 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 blah. Probably the commission will be appointed to the sanity of Miss Hook, 24-year-old, wasted away to skeleton. The cause of which his family claimed spell holdover. Okay, kind of a bummer article, honestly. That. This woman was convinced that the neighbor had put a spell on her and could not be talked out of it. Oh, that's it. Spectre, Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion. I love that revenge is in there. Revenge is just so petty. Like terrorism next to just revenge. Article from 1900, Third Rail Bewitched, Ice Coating's Effect on Brooklyn Elevated Motors, Passengers Alarmed While They Marvel at the Wondrous Display of Electric Current Affords. Let's see. Railroad system bucked and balked and fumed and sputtered until the hapless folk aboard were on the verge of nervous prostration. Sent cold chills up and down the spinal columns of the passengers by emitting flashes of electric flame on all sides. Yikes. Okay. So just some unsafe rails for the trolley in Brooklyn here. Sleet had caused, let's see, sleet had settled upon the surface of the rail where it had frozen. Electricity is communicated from the rail through a copper brush. slides along the top of the rail. Ordinary sparks are thrown off at the points of contact. When the rail is coated with ice, the display is of the alarming order. Videodrum says, the Fox animated series for Carmen Sandiego would have been in my era too if I had continued watching kids shows other than Sailor Moon after 95. Yeah. Oh, that's right. The Vile Henchmen were from Carmen Sandiego. Carpenter was bewitched in 1881. Remarkable white powder on his skin and hair on his back. Whoa. Remarkable notions of two aged Staten Islanders, a witch with a black eye, a black cat behind the chimney. Person on Staten Island, positive one witch is still alive. She's made the victims of her dark powers. Reporters immediately dispatched to Staten Island to learn something about the witch. If there's any person on New York that can cure witchcraft, man or woman, white or black, let them come and cure if they can, and no cure, no pay. It was hard work to find Mr. May in Port Richmond. It's learned that he lived in one of the side streets. He was an old man, a carpenter. Brisk knocked at the door, brought out a little old woman, wrinkled and gray, but withal plump, and bearing on her face the kindly look of a rural Irish woman. She wore the same cloth hood, the shape of sunbonnet, and the same short skirts that such women always wear. Ushered visitor into the room, furniture is scant. Tea kettle humming on the same old tune tea kettles hum to bairns and grannies year in, year out, and never grow tired. And to Matthews. The advertisement put in, at least my wife did, she has to attend to everything now. Can you drive out witches? The reporter is inclined to think he might drive one out if it was a small witch and he had a big club, but he replied with some caution. He proposed to publish an account of this witchcraft in the Times. I don't know. Some people agree. The women that live in the house with us, there's only 2 of us. There are 9 rooms in the house. We have plenty of rooms. We rented a room. She had a husband then. He'd made plenty of money. She bewitched him. They were good. They were Scotch folks. She sent him back to England, got rid of him. I noticed wrong. She began to have a black eye. Did you ever see a witch? You know, they always have a black eye, no matter what color their eye is before. When they get to be witches, one eye gets black. My old man's eye began to turn black, the same eye. Then his hands began to drop, and he couldn't do any work. There's a great white towel stretched over the rocking chair. You thought there was a corpse there, and on the towel was laid an oval bit of wood. That was her circle. Witches always work with circles. By the side of that was a long, slim stick. That was too much for me. Still here in Port Richmond, she's got my husband bewitched. I mean, this is some intrigue. When she was gone, one of the neighbors come up to me and say, "Don't you go in that cellar, Miss May. That's where witches live, in cellars. Maybe she's put something on the floor to make you lame. I know witches can do that, but I thought maybe I might find something in the cellar that would bring my old man out all right. So I went in very careful. I walked around on tiptoe. I went clear to the back of the cellar before I found anything. Then I leaned over and looked back of the chimney, and there it was, a bundle of black rags done up in like a bunch like. So you might have thought there was a black cat laying there dead. There's a big bundle too. I opened it. It was a pair of man's pantaloons with buttons on. They were all covered with a little fine white powder, just like there is on the skin of a person that's bewitched. I've got it on me and it makes spots like pinheads on the skin with little circles around them. And my old man's got them. But that ain't the only thing. He's got hair on his back, and that's a sure sign. Whenever you see a person with hair on their back, you may know they're bewitched. You know that, don't you? It's a sure sign my old man's got it. See how he sits there and mopes? That wasn't all I found. I looked very careful on the floor of the cellar, and I found a bunch of black hair, all wadded up and half buried. That was a good thing when I found that, for it saved my old man's life. I looked at it was a piece cut off from a little girl's plate. You know how they plait little girls' hair. I brought it up and laid it on the table and began to move around. It rose right up, and that frightened me, and I threw it in the fire and burned it up. If it hadn't been for that, my old man wouldn't be alive now. I heard say that that's the way witches work, with hair. When they bewitch a person, they take a bunch of hair and bury it, and as soon as that hair rots, the person dies. I burned that hair, and it didn't rot, so the old man didn't die. This is wild. They used to women's husband. The reporter was not acquainted with anybody who made that branch of science a specialty. Just look what she's done for us, the old woman went on. There's this house with 9 rooms in it. We had to clean which did anything to it's more apparently well into its 70s. Back has bent, his hands are drawn up, his voice is feeble. More than probable that a wiser man even than he who could drive out witches can do nothing for him, for that his crooked body will be straightened no more this side of the grave. That's the end of the article. No resolution on this. That's a very abrupt conclusion to this story. I guess we'll never find out what happened to the guy who got hair on his back and a black eye in his 70s. Wow, that's a real mystery. Just curious here. If we look up Port Richmond, Staten Island, just look in the New York Times. I wonder if they ever followed up on this. Staten Island witch. Oh, wait. The Witch of Staten Island, 2000. Oh, was this a whole thing? There's nothing remarkable at the house on Richmond Avenue. Okay, this is... When was the other one from? It was like 1880 something. Looks like for some reason I can't go back to it. But, oh gosh, and Mr. T-Bone said we never did get to Margaret Hamilton. That might be a separate stream. We might do Margaret Hamilton on a separate stream. So here's like over 100 years later. Polly Bodine was infamous as Lizzie Borden. Strawberry and Christmas Light, 1843. Rural seafaring community. Two boys returning home, smoke billowing, schooner, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so she was suspected in a murder on Staten Island and accused of being a witch. She was drinking gin, eating a slice of pie, looking weary and wary. Later spotted in a pawn shop, wearing a hooded cape and green veil. Hawking items from the victim's house. Okay, well, that's suspicious. Edgar Allan Poe said this woman may possibly escape, for they manage these matters wretchedly in New York. Trial ended in hung jury. Jurors refused to convict on the grounds they lacked circumstantial evidence in the fourth degree. What this meant was anybody's guess. Second trial held in Manhattan. Seemed fascinating by Polly. Crowds of highly fashionable female spectators, giving the courtroom all the appearance of fashionable theater. Added to the excitement, P.T. Barnum made a wax tableau of Polly in his museum. Portrayed her as a toothless witch of 70. She was half that age, savagely hacking away at her victims. Barnum's witch apparently had some magic on her side, convicted, but the verdict was overturned. In 1846, New York publisher distributed a fantastically overheated pamphlet damning her as a vampirish slattern possessing an undying enmity of the human race. Moved back to Staten Island, lived in increasing anonymity until 82, left behind 2 grown children and a bundle of unanswered questions. A small cemetery where they were buried, the headstone stands Halloween story and ends with a ghost. Small wood grows across the street from Polly's old house. Ragged bit of greenery used to dump mowed grass and old liquor bottles. Recently, neighbors spotted a vaporous man in gray prowling these woods at night. Maybe he knows who committed those horrible murders 157 years ago, or maybe he just wandered into the wrong Halloween story. Wow. Who would have known? Yeah, it does look like fake viral marketing for Blair Witch. Who would have guessed Staten Island is so haunted? All right. Seems like this is separate from the witch problem of the 1880 something that we found earlier, but still good to know Staten Island has some ghosts and witches and stuff. All right, wrapping it on up here with the cake bewitched him. A rondout man induced to elope with another man's wife. Wife has been... She eloped with the... Wait. Man was induced to elope with another man's wife. His wife, she eloped with a young unmarried man named Fox of Rondout, arrested in Albany by the police. Why were they arrested just for eloping? Oh, with the young... His wife... I guess this is kind of bigamy, sort of. The wife eloped with the young unmarried man. Result was Delancey was locked up in the... called in court. Came out. Answered the questions by laying the blame of the elopement on the shoulders of the woman. It's shocking. Offered the plea that Mrs. Delancey came to the house where he lives shortly before the elopement and gave him a piece of cake. He ate the succulent pastry, and 4 hours afterward, he declared, I was so crazy I didn't know anything, and I couldn't leave her 10 minutes. Something made me follow her every 10 minutes. Another piece of cake led to the elopement, and still another piece to the row between himself and the injured husband. He was bewitched by the cake. He said he was in fear of his life. Testimony created much merriment and surprise in the court. Fox's people say he has had an evil eye over him, and that the cake, over which was incantations, they allege, had been bad, was the cause of his waywardness. I mean, that's not a bad excuse. I was given a magic cake that caused me to elope with this woman. Who's gonna provide evidence to the contrary? All right, similar story about a bewitched farmer, similar story about a bewitched couple in Buffalo. Suffering from same complaints. So, witchery and sorcery. This is from 1872. Cease to complain of the spectral policeman, possessed by the idea the police are the only ones that can protect them. Old man has made his appearance and begged to be protected against a witch who had practiced on his stove so he could get no fire to burn. All right, maybe your stove just doesn't work. Here we've got a widow's bewitched button box. I love how, like, the second reference to bewitching cakes in the streams as far as this video drum. I guess it's a thing. Bewitched button box getting a large number of buttons, began to fly about the room, striking the bed, stove, and other articles of furniture. Thought that someone was throwing the buttons into the room from outside. They noticed their button box was being emptied. Buttons, sure enough, were flying on the floor, on the bed, on the stove, elsewhere, continued to be hurled from the box. All of them commenced picking up the buttons and throwing them back of the box, but the button throwing continued. The parties were hitting their faces and heads by them again and again. The box was emptied. The phenomenon continued for about 2 hours when suddenly, stop putting them back in the box. There's a bright light burning on the table the whole time. No agency could be detected in the manipulation of the buttons. This is inexplicable by the parties mentioned, all of whom reported to the Republican Reporter. None of them are spiritualists. What do you suppose is the story there? They were going to do some mending. They placed a button box on a table. The buttons started flying everywhere. They called for help from the barber next door. They all reported the same thing. What was going on in this situation? What is the actual story? Like, this is a weird one because, like, what does anyone have to gain by making the story up? I certainly don't think it was true that the buttons were just, like, flying everywhere of their own volition, but what's the game here? Then we've got what bewitched the regulator. Mechanism of the clock is superb. For the past several weeks, it has been observed that Monday mornings the clock has been 10 minutes ahead of the correct time. Everybody about the establishment has been puzzled for the strange freak. Close inspection led to a solution of the mystery. A small spider was found on one side of the case, and from the point of the pendulum, a slender thread of web had been stretched to both sides of the case, thus shortening the stroke and increasing the motion of the machinery. It is evident that the object of the little spider was to stop the movement of the pendulum, and it is equally evident that Sunday was chosen for the work because on that day there was no liability to interruption. K-Dow says there was an insect at the bottom of the box. It was gone by the time they got back. That could... I mean, it says it went on for hours, is the thing. Which also seems weird, but whatever. Charles says mental health issues, but all three? I do like this one. That, like, it's a haunted clock. Oh, no, wait. There's just a spider web. Maybe it was insects with the cake as well. The cheesecake was infused with bugs. Like, all of these things can be explained with insects. This is a great story, though. I love that, like, what bewitched the regulator? A spider. Which seems kind of witchy. Anyway, here's the baking powder that we started the stream talking about. Stargazing bewitches Queen's boy. And then we're back to the beginning with some other lower relevance incidents of bewitching. Bugs, drugs, naked lunch, cheesecakes, it's all tied into my word salad, says Video Drum. Suddenly Steve says it was the same spider who messed up the clock. It was just like in the... Oh, ergot poisoning? What is that, Rowan? Ingestion of alkaloids produced by the Claviceps purpurea fungus. I mean, yeah, you know what? It could be... Oh, my lord. This is an unfortunate affliction. Infects rye and other cereals. Convulsive symptoms and gangrenous symptoms. I don't know. That doesn't seem like hallucination. Yeah, this doesn't seem like that particular thing. Oh, yeah, there was an aspirin ad there. Don't give your kids aspirin. Yeah. Katie says they were only just discovering germs, so the threshold for astonishment was a tad low. I mean, you know what? Honestly, some sort of hallucination as a result of like something bad in the food, I think that's not unlikely. And maybe everyone was suggestible. So like, I see these buttons flying everywhere. And like, maybe people were like, oh yeah, I see that too. I don't know. Spiders and Witchcraft are involved in 1981's Deadly Blessing. Not great stuff, but early Sharon Stone. Oh, all right. I'm not familiar with that one. Deadly Blessing. Sounds sinister. Ergo, the dying? Wait, who is... Oh, Mr. T-Bone says lots of witchcraft reports were traced back to contaminated flour from gypsum weeds growing in local wheat fields. Oh, huh. Yeah, so Bongo Beer, you might be right about the... And Rowan, maybe like the ergo poisoning or whatever, some other kind of fungus poisoning could explain like the other articles we're reading about like animals getting sick. Some people blame ergo poisoning for the Salem witch trials. Kids went into seizures. It was blamed on witches. And Bob says ergo rye had that effect when it went bad. Oh, okay. So it's not the fungus itself, but when it gets into the rye, it causes, or it could be some sort of like Bongo Beer says silver, some sort of like metallurgic poisoning. I know mercury can cause some, mental problems. So, or we could cause mental problems or just like disfigurement. I can't remember actually. I might be confusing them. Anyway, yeah, there are like very boring explanations. Like they just didn't keep the rye well insulated, so it got a fungus and then it made people have medical problems. Like a lot of the explanations for these things are so tedious. Like a spider built a web in the cabinet and that's what made the clock run funny. Anyway, and Video Dream says, I can never get over Silver, such a fascinating film. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh, actually, one other thing I want to look at here. Wife is Not a Wife, a new NBC show. What is this? Oh, we were talking about this on the Twitch stream the other day. Fascinating. Wife is Not a Wife, a new NBC show. The traumas of the executive suite will be explored in a half-hour comedy series next season when the National Broadcasting Company presents Occasional Wife. Michael Callan will star in the Color series as a young bachelor executive who finds the road to advancement blocked by his lack of a wife. He meets and proposes to a pretty, aspiring artist played by Patricia Hardy, but he does not propose marriage, only an arrangement that allows her to play his wife just often enough to convince his boss that he is properly wed. In return, he guarantees her a separate apartment in his building, free art lessons, and contact lenses to draw by. It's a little odd. Contact lenses. All right, sure. Produced by Screen Gems, who also did Bewitched. Replacing Dr. Kildare, blah, 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 will give way to Hey Landlord, a comedy series about a young man who inherits a New York brownstone. It stars Will Hutchins, formerly of Sugarfoot, and Sandy Barron. Hey Landlord is a Rich television production. Also a little article here about how people like Batman. So, Occasional Wife sounds like a ridiculous name for a show, but catchy theme song. We might wrap up the stream by watching the theme song for Occasional Wife because it's pretty good. So we watched this over on Twitch last week. Oh, Bongo Beer says, wait, it was following Hello Larry and before Turnabout. Well, great time slot there. So it's about a guy with a beard. So suddenly, Steve, I think that's a great idea. Like, imagine a modern remake. So we don't need beards like we used to. We don't need like somebody to be like, oh no, I'm not gay, in the same way that we might have in the past. I feel like there was like a sweet spot for a show about a beard that we've probably passed. But I don't know, maybe like I can see a show set in like a show set in the 70s, for example, who arranges a beard that has a similar premise to Occasional Wife. Although I don't know why anyone would want to revive this flop of a show that didn't last a single season. Ooh, Carol Channing battles lifeless material with the sound of canned laughter. So Carol Channing was on An Evening with Carol Channing. Oh, but they gave it a laugh track. Miss Channing, who could turn a statement of the most obvious fact into a tentative question was for often comedic effect, was saddled with comedy lines that even she could not twist to life. It may be significant that she got as many laughs in the commercials as she did in the rest of the show, then it was sometimes hard to distinguish between the two. That is unfortunate for Carol. Guy works for RNC or something and has a beard. Yeah, but impossible to be sympathetic to that character. All right, Occasional Wife. Just want to take a look at this opening theme here. Oh, here's a promo for it. Occasional Wife in Our Times. Occasional Wife opening credits. All right, is this going to be it? Yes. Okay. So here it is. We're going to watch this one, and I'm going to talk over it a little bit so that YouTube isn't tempted to do copyright strikes. Although, I mean, it's already on YouTube, so seems unlikely that YouTube would object to it. Okay, so here it is. Let me just move some things around so I can keep an eye on the audio. So here's the show that we were just reading about from the 60s, 66, Occasional Wife opening credits. An amazing VO on this one.
This is a modern fable of the big city. It's about a swinging bachelor with a problem. His boss. I'm sorry, Peter. I believe in married executives. No marriage, no promotion. He shared this problem with his friend, a hat-check girl.
Too bad you can't do what I do to protect myself in this place.
What's that?
Pretend you're married.
And did she give him an idea? Yeah.
I love that. It's such a premise. It's such a, like, it's so crazy. It just might work.
Greta, you have given me the solution to my problem. A make-believe wife. That's the answer for my boss.
Peter, you must be out of your mind.
No, Greta, I mean it. I want you to be my wife. Occasionally.
What I mean, it actually seems funny. Like, it seems like a good setup for a show, right? Also, I love the theme song. It's very catchy. Da, 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 da. Yeah, only Friend's Wife, Bongo Beer says. Just Friend's Wife.
So she went on salary as his occasional wife.
Da, 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 da.
And they set up housekeeping. Peter in his apartment on the 7th floor, and Greta in her apartment on the 9th floor. To the lasting confusion of the fellow in between.
I mean, Bongo Beer says, oh, she's cute, but she's scratching her head. Yeah. So there you have it. Occasional Wife. Part of what I was talking about before, like premise shows of the 60s. Mr. G says, I love that theme song. It is good, right? There's another version that's a little bit shorter of this one that starts with the narrator saying there's a million stories in the naked city. Or no, there's 8 million stories in the naked city. And this is the one of blah, 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 blah. And weirdly, that opening, because they had two different openings for this show that didn't last a season. That opening goes, it ends with the line, our show features, it says the actors' names, Patricia Healy, not Patricia Healy, she's from Home Improvement, but Patricia Hardy and Michael Callan. And then it ends with the narrator saying, and many episodes include a fire escape. And that's the end of the opening. It just says, and many episodes include a fire escape. Da-da-da-da, the end. Suddenly Steve says, I want the story to be about the 8th floor guy. It's like a mystery show of him trying to figure it out. I like that even though it seems like such a weird show, it uses the trope of nosy neighbor who knows something weird's going on, but not sure what. Oh God, you're right, Eric. It sounds like Food Glorious Food. Da 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 da. Is it? It's not actually, is it?
This is a modern fable of the big city.
Da, 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 da.
It's about a swinging bachelor with a problem.
It's like one note off. You're right. It's like one note off from Food Glorious Food. Da, 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 da. Why would they use that as the theme song? Let's see if this one has the...
Occasional wife.
Oh, I think this might be it. Nope.
Now, showered and civilized, Peter is more able to face the challenge of daily life.
I didn't realize that every episode had VO like this.
Greta has already announced her plans for the day.
Oh, you are really marvelous.
Well, doing marvelous things is the marvelous part of being marvelous. Right this way.
Wow. I didn't know every... Yes, suddenly Steve. Wife, glorious wife. Yeah, Feet says it's one step away from being it. It's so strange. It's so strange. Let me see if we can find one season wonders of the 60s is what we're looking at. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay,
This is the checkers game.
So this video has like the shortened version of that theme song that we were talking about. Also has Dickens and Fenster and a few other shows. Dickens and Fenster, by the way, starring John Aston, a.k.a. Gomez Adams. We also have, what other shows do we have? The Baileys of Balboa. No idea what this one's about. Les Brown Jr., though. Like, ooh, what a hunk. We got Mickey Rooney in whatever this show was. Emily and Harry and whatever this show was. No Time for Sergeants with Harry Hickox, Laurie Sibold. Wendy and Me with Connie Stevens. Karen, starring whoever these people are. And then Tammy, which was apparently the sequel to Karen. When Karen didn't do well, they just retooled it as Tammy. Here's Sally Field in Gidget. This was pre Flying Nun. So Gidget, cute little show. My Flying Nun. The Flying Nun follow-up after Gidget failed. Sally Field hated it, but it lasted like 4 seasons. So there you go. Oh, it's Patty Duke's ex-husband? Bongo Beer says? I didn't know that. Here's My Mother the Car, which this is what sent us looking for this on the other live stream that we did on Twitch. Fabulous theme song. Ridiculous premise. It's about a woman who is reincarnated. Get it? Then Captain Nice. No idea what this is, but it stars William Daniels from Boy Meets World. Long before, well, I guess 30 years before Boy Meets World. And Alice Ghostley, who we were talking about before. Pruitts of Southampton, starring Phyllis Diller. Another flop. The premise here is that the Pruitts of Southampton have no money, but they want to keep up appearances, like the show Keeping Up Appearances, but more like the show Schitt's Creek, about some rich people who lose all their money. The Ugliest Girl in Town, quite a show about a man who is mistaken for a woman and given a job as a female model and just goes with it so that he can spy on his model girlfriend. Troubling. Also starring Gary Marshall. Oh, here we go. Here is Occasional Wife, the other version of the opening.
There are 8 million stories in the naked city.
I mean, what an opening. There are 8 million stories in the naked city.
Some are violent, some happy, some sad. But one of them is just plain cuckoo.
It's such a great premise. Oh, and of course, Norman, you're right. Arrested Development as well.
This is a modern fable about 2 young people who make a bargain, only to find out that they were going to get a lot more than they bargained for. We call our fable Occasional Wife. And it stars Michael Callan and Patricia Hardy.
Here comes.
And it features, among other things, a fire escape.
I just love it. I love that it ends and features, among other things, a fire escape. If you have doubts about angels being real, I can arrange to change any doubts you feel as the Gidget theme. Oh, that's sweet, though. Steve says, Captain Nice stars William Daniels as a mama's boy who takes a potion that turns him into the superhero Captain Nice. Captain Nice. Was it, I'm going to assume, sort of a riff on Batman 66? Also, this show is called Love on a Rooftop. It's set in San Francisco. It's 2 people who fall in love and just live on a rooftop. There's another one called He and She. Good Morning World, kind of a pre-WKRP with Billy DeWolf, who is openly queer. Openly queer? Maybe not openly queer. Oops. Oh,
this is Mia. She's new to Shaker.
Hi, Mia.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Stop playing an ad. Stop playing an ad. There we go. Woof. Pete says, dang, I was looking for a fire escape show. Yeah, I've been looking for there's a lot of shows I like, but none of them feature a fire escape. So Steve says, yeah, it's very campy. Wait, which one is campy? Is it Hello World? Was it very campy? Also, note the Walt Disney font for Hello World. Pete says, I had to settle for Dinner Ladies. This looks twice as good. What was Dinner Ladies? Oh, boy. Suddenly Steve is talking about Captain Nice. He can fly, but he's afraid of heights. He's really clumsy. Okay, so it's Great American Hero. Just a little earlier. Yeah, Bongo Beer says, don't forget the fire escape. We've got the whole roof. Yeah, exactly. We're graduating from Occasional Wife's fire escape to Love on a Rooftop. Yeah, all right. I'll show you. Show you and your fire escape. Les Brown was a conductor. He led the band on the Dean Martin show. Oh. Bob Mathis says, I'm dating myself. I remember all of these shows. That's great. That's great. You're a resource. Write down everything you remember about those shows so it's not lost. Goldie Hawn was on Good Morning World, her big break. Oh, really? I keep saying Hello World. It's Good Morning World. Hello World is what you write when you're writing a computer program. And you need to have it display text, and you need like filler text. You write Hello World. Sally Field could have won the Oscar for Lincoln. She was brilliant. Laugh-In. Oh yeah, Bongo Beer. You're right. Laugh-In was about this time too. That one also lasted. A little while longer. Not super long, but a lot of short-lived shows. I mean, there's always short-lived shows. There's always one-season shows. Like making some point. Like there are a lot of one-season shows in the 60s. But there's still one-season shows. Anyway, oh my goodness. Well, there's a smattering of things. Got real random at the end there. But a smattering of things that I've been looking at. So a lot of this stuff is going to appear in my upcoming video about Bewitched. If you want an early look at it with no ads, go and sign up for my Patreon, patreon.com/MattBaum. Everybody at the $10 and up level gets a early ad-free access to it. And everybody who's a patron at every level gets little video messages from me, just like what I'm working on with some clips and some of the fun stuff that I find that I don't show off anywhere else. So head over to Patreon and sign up there, and you'll get like some extra stuff from me. Keith's got to go to my next meeting. Love to Matt and love you all. Waves. Goodbye, Keith. Thanks for popping by. Thanks for joining. What a delight. What a joy to have you here. Thank you for being a part of the stream. And of course, remember to subscribe over on twitch.tv/MattBaum. I do streams over there. If you're enjoying these streams, you'll probably like my streams on Twitch during the week. Evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/MattBaum. We just hang out, we chat, we look at stuff like this. Sometimes we play some video games, and we have a fabulous time. Bob says, don't forget My Living Doll featuring Julie Newmar as an android. That is also going to appear in my Bewitched video that's coming up. So, yes. I have not forgot My Living Doll featuring Julie Newmar. Julie Newmar has a breed of rose named after her because she read in the newspaper that there was a new breed of rose and they didn't have a name for it. So she called the nursery where they had bred it and was like, you should name it after me. And they did. So that's why the Julie Newmar rose exists, because she asked for it. Anyway, there's a little story about Julie Newmar. Oh, yeah, Sam is correct. Laugh-In made Goldie Hawn. No one remembers Good Morning World. Sadly, yeah. I mean, it's like how Ellen DeGeneres was on some other show. She was a secretary on some show before the Ellen show. So I do love those, like, before they were famous flops. Anyway, Jillian says, fun as always. Have a good rest of your weekend. Mullen says, thanks for this. I love you. Thank you for popping by. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being a friend. That's all. All right, everybody. Keep an eye out for my video coming out very soon. Bewitched video coming out very soon. Mr. T, this was fun. Take care. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Mr. T. Fun spending time with you. And we're going to wrap it on up now, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out. Always an absolute joy. All right, everyone. I will see you next week. Bye, everyone. Goodbye. Let's see if I can figure out how to end the stream. Do you remember, like, when I first started doing these streams, I couldn't figure out how to end them? Now I think I've gotten a little better at it. Here we go.